Welcome, Try this again. Welcome, wrestling fans. We are inside of the Blanchard High School Gymnasium where the Guthrie Bluejays are coming to Blanchard to take on the Blanchard Lion Pride in a wrestling duel this foggy and cold Thursday evening. I'm Sean Silvis alongside Lindsay Silvis tonight on the camera, and we are going to bring you what is hopefully going to be another exciting matchup. We were in Sapulpa all day yesterday where the Blue Jay high school team won the district duels, which qualified them for dual state. And that took up the better part of the afternoon on into the evening. And got home just in time to get these wrestlers back down to weight and then back on the mat again this evening. And then they will have the weekend off. I'm sure they will be excited about that. It's been a busy schedule in January for these Blue Jays. So having the weekend off will probably be much needed and much anticipated for them. They might even get to take their girlfriends on a date. So as long as they don't eat too much, it should be fine. And till then, we're going to take on this Blanchard duel. Going to look a little bit different for the high school because of the weigh-in yesterday and all of the matches. Most of our high school squad has bumped up a weight class. So most of the kids we've been seeing wrestle at their normal weight have all bumped up. So not sure what that's going to look like as far as the overall result of the duel. I know each match they're still going to compete. Each match they're going to try to win. But Coach was more concerned about having the best lineup we could for the duels, focused on that. Because they bumped those duels back a week, it kind of fell into place of this match or this duel tonight. And his thought was, we're going to do what we can to win the district duels. We're going to focus on that. And then what happens at Blanchard's happened at Blanchard. So not, like I say, it's not a gimme. It's not like Coach is just throwing this match away. But he wants what's best for the wrestlers, so he decided we're going to focus on the dual tournament. And then after that, we'll deal with Blanchard, and that's kind of where we're at here tonight. So, again, some of the matchups might not be what they normally would be, but being, like, say, Blanchard's a 4A school, Guthrie's a 5A school, we're not going to see these guys at state. None of these matchups are going to matter for regional pairing or anything like that. So Coach was like, you know what, we're just going to bump everybody up. They're going to get to compete a little bit more. There are a couple of guys that are banged up. He's going to sit out, let them rest so that they're healthy come dual state. And then that's what that high school matchup's going to look like. Interestingly enough, the junior high matchup might also look a little bit different because there's a Little League state tournament starting tomorrow, and there's a whole bunch. There's probably 10 or so wrestlers on the junior high team that are all going to be competing there tomorrow, and they've got to get to a weigh-in tonight. So those wrestlers are wrestling tonight, and then they got to weigh in tonight so that they can wrestle Friday and Saturday. So just a busy wrestling season right now. A lot of these guys are just mixing and matching and weighing in. It's a bit of a cluster here for the Blue Jays. It's a good problem to have. We got a lot of kids wrestling, a lot of kids wanting to compete in as many areas as they can. In our junior high, we've got some kids that are wrestling for the high school, they're wrestling for the junior high, and they're wrestling for the Little League all at the same time. So we've got some freshmen that are literally competing at the high school level, then they're filling in for the junior high, and then they're also competing on the weekends with our Little League. So again, it's an awesome problem to have. It's great for Guthrie wrestling, but it's also very busy, and it's just this Blanchard duel kind of fell at a time where, you know what, we're just going to make the most of it. We're going to compete here just to get competition, not focus so much on the win as we are just getting matches in, and then we're going to go from there. So anyway, let me take a quick timeout, brought to you by F&M Bank, and then we will pick back up and watch this junior high duel.
F&M Bank loves giving back to the communities we live and serve in. Banking with us ensures your money goes back into your community. Our goal is to provide you with reliable banking you can trust, delivered with unique passion for service. F&M Bank has all the modern banking services, mobile banking, lending, reward checking, electronic checking, and more. We invite you to come see us at any of our 8 locations. Come see what relationship banking is all about. F&M Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paper boy, evening TV. You miss your old familiar friends, but waiting just around the bend. You're lost out there and you're all alone. A light is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere.
Welcome back, wrestling fans.
Loves giving back
Sean
to the
Silva's
communities
here,
we live and serve.
live inside.
Banking with us ensures your money goes back into your community. Our goal is to provide you.
Let's try that again, guys. Technical difficulties on my end. I would say I'm getting rusty, but I was at it all day yesterday. You'd think I'd have all these buttons figured out, but forgive me, I am not as versed as Chris Evans at producing. That man is a professional. Me, I'm just making it up as I go. So anyway, we are here live inside of the Blanchard High School Gymnasium. If you're just now joining us, the Guthrie Bluejays are in Blanchard tonight, taking on the Lion Pride in a wrestling duel. Junior high is down there warming up as we speak. They should kick off sometime close to 6 o'clock. By my watch, it is 5:53, so we've got about 5 or 10 minutes here to get going. And this duel should kick off with a bang, I guess. Looks like the junior high is not going to have a complete squad. They've got a handful of guys missing from Blanchard. Same with the high school as well. Some of the first, I think, 3 weights will not be wrestled, but we will catch every match that's wrestled anyway and get you guys filled in. Like I was saying before the break, it's going to be a little bit of a different duel. Like say there's on the junior high side, several of these kids that are wrestling tonight are going to weigh in tonight. They're leaving here to go down to the state fairgrounds to weigh in. So that duel is going to look a little bit just different, trying to get these kids in and out so they can go weigh in. And then at the high school level, all of the weights, everyone's bumping up a weight, and then a couple kids are going to sit out that are banged up. So they're just bumping up just because they had to weigh in at the dual tournament this past weekend. So big news though, the Guthrie High School has made dual state. Last year we fell a little bit short, lost to Piedmont in the finals, but this year really a dominant win yesterday down in Sapulpa. Really Guthrie walked away with every duel that we wrestled. Really, Sapulpa, Pryor gave us a good matchup early. That was our first duel, but the third duel we wrestled in round 4 was against Sapulpa, and that was going to be kind of on paper the team to beat. It was going to be Guthrie or Sapulpa. Started off that duel was fairly close. There was a lot of parity there early, a lot of good matches, a lot of back and forth, and then towards the end of that duel, man, Guthrie just took over, got to the meat of the lineup, and Guthrie just pin after pin after pin really just walked away with that duel. So it was a nice win as far as the duel goes, but really sealed up that sorry guys. Really sealed up that win for dual state, which is awesome. The Blue Jays looked great. It was, as far as a dual team goes, years past, just having a complete lineup has been hard for Guthrie to fill enough weights, and then not just filling weights, but then putting quality wrestlers out on the mat at each one of the weights is another challenge that Guthrie is, over the years, slowly adding to that lineup and building quality, and we finally have that dual team now where, honestly, we've got tough kids at every weight. All the weights are full. That's a huge deal for Guthrie wrestling. It's just a sign of the fact that wrestling is growing in the town of Guthrie, and it's great to see. So just making dual state is a big deal. Now the kids are going to go up there here in a couple of weeks in Enid and see if they can't pull off a win up there at dual state, or at least get a medal or win some matches. So anyway, that's a big deal for us, and we're excited for them. So anyway, I'll take one more break before I've got 5:56, so I think they're going to be going here in just a couple of minutes. So we'll take one more timeout, brought to you by F&M Bank.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy.
There's one big difference between Vance Auto Group and the other dealers: transparency. We show all the discounts and rebates on our website long before you arrive. See your monthly payment, your current vehicle's value, Carfax, and everything about the vehicle you're interested in buying. You can even buy any vehicle, new or pre-owned, without leaving home, right from our website. Buy with transparency at the John Vance Auto Group.
John Vance Auto Group.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live here inside of the Blanchard High School Gymnasium. I'm Sean Silvis alongside Lindsay Silvis, and we are bringing you this duel live on the GMP Network. Thank you for tuning in. If you were not able to make the trip, I hope this broadcast will suffice. We'll do our best here to bring you live coverage. It looks like we are fixing to get things started. Not sure if we're doing a national anthem or not. I did hear some music playing earlier, but just stand by with me and we will play along with whatever they've got going. As they try to work out the technical difficulties in their PA system, we all wait anxiously to know exactly what's going on here. But the junior high is out on the mat. Actually, they're not on the mat. They're off to the sides. They've warmed up. The junior high kids are ready to compete. We are just now waiting on, looks like the officials here as well, so waiting for a green light from the guys.
Welcome everybody to tonight's duel between Guthrie Bluejays and your Blanchard Lions. Would everybody please rise as we play the national anthem before we kick off this evening? Remove your hats.
We're going to rise for the national anthem.
All right, would you please remain standing for 1 second? We're going to have a word of prayer before we kick off. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for a great night tonight for wrestling. And we'll just ask that your Holy Spirit to protect these kids as they are in a competition tonight. Just keep them safe. No injuries tonight, Lord. We just ask that you protect them as they battle. We just thank you for the grace for the wrestling. Thank you everybody's here tonight. Keep us safe as you travel home as well this evening. And Father, for the senior night tonight, for the senior that is here, we just ask that you bless him and his family this evening as we honor him as well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Hard to beat a good national anthem, but to start the duel in prayer is always going to be a good thing in my book. We are live inside of the Blanchard High School Gymnasium. Sean Silvis alongside Lindsay Silvis as we are fixing to kick off this junior high showdown between the Blanchard Lions and the Guthrie Bluejays. Now, I'm going to do my absolute best to try and keep up with these junior high wrestlers as far as the scoreboard is concerned. But oftentimes in junior high, they like to go faster than I can type, so And, of course, they popped in a wrestler that I don't have on my list, so it's going to take me a second here to catch up. As we kick off inside this junior high showdown, I think the last time we got to see the junior high boys compete, they picked up a win at home against Blackwell, which was a huge victory for the Blue Jays, who had not yet won a duel in the season, a young crew that has slowly gotten better, and they were able to pull off a victory against a very tough Blackwell team. So that was an awesome, awesome night. And the Blue Jay junior high team has not competed since. That was a couple of weeks ago, senior night. Actually, I believe it was homecoming night. Yeah, I believe it was homecoming night for the Blue Jays high school. So anyway, they got that big W, and now they're taking on the Lions here tonight in hopes of picking up another big win. And we have got to be moments away, in theory, all right, folks, I'm back yet again. Connor Ace in the house tonight. He's going to run the score clock for us. So he's normally down there wrestling for the junior high, but did not have a matchup tonight. So Connor's going to be on the scoreboard for me tonight. I got Lindsay on the camera. I got Connor on the scoreboard, and I guess I got an easy job. This will be pretty cool. So would like to give a shout out to Connor Phillips, as he is going to bail me out tonight. You're probably going to get the best score clock of the season on the last night. So this will be the last scheduled duel for the Blue Jays of the season. And then obviously here in a couple of weeks, the Guthrie High School is going to be in Blanchard. And if we are allowed to cover that duel, I will bring that to you live, and that will be pending approval. While we've got a short minute, I would like to go ahead and thank Bank First, F&M Bank, North Church, John Vance Auto, and Generations Church for helping to sponsor this broadcast. If it were not for these sponsors, we would not be on air. So I would like to give them a special shout out. Also sponsoring this broadcast, Phil Nichols and our friends at Exon, South Point Baptist Church, and A-Team Overhead Doors, TIG Insurance, the Strive Wellness Lounge, and Aspen Roofing. These wonderful sponsors have made all of these live broadcasts possible. If you guys are out and about in the community, you run into these guys, you step into their doors, make sure that you thank them for their contribution to this broadcast so that you can be watching that home tonight. It is a huge deal that they do that. It allows me to travel and come out here and do this for you, but also it allows you to stay home and enjoy watching your Guthrie Bluejays tear it up on these wrestling mats. So we really, really appreciate these sponsors and everything they do, not just for wrestling, but for the community. You know, it always seems like the same sponsors and the same faces doing all the same things around here, just trying to promote Guthrie athletics, and we love them for that. We thank them for that as well. So just want to give a shout out while we've got time. Down on the mat tonight, Caden Hall is over there in the corner warming up. You see him down to the left in the front, running over to the score clock now. Caden chomping at the bit to go. One of our sixth graders, wrestles for our junior program, and he also steps up to compete at the junior high level as well. And I believe he's supposed to have a match tonight. On my sheet, he had a match, but that is not the case. That's going to be 6 points for the Blue Jays in the duel. And now we're going to move on to Ryan Gerard for the Blue Jays. Is going to be taking on Hickson Brooks. At 86 pounds. In on a shot here, he's getting a snake. He's got his arm hooked in a cow catcher position, which can turn into a snake. Ryan's going to have to get his left arm out from underneath the legs of Brooks. He's trying to hook that leg. He needs to get his arm out. He's caught. He's not pinned yet. He rolls through. Really did a good job just powering through that. It's going to be 2-point takedown and 3-point near fall for Hickson Brooks. It's going to bring that score up 5-0. Really, Ryan did a good job just getting off his back there. Kind of got caught. He hit a nice shot, but got caught with that arm. He kind of left it hanging, and Brooks did a good job snagging that arm and rolling him over. He's got a posture way with a big wing. He wings down on that half. Wasn't quite able to step his leg over. He gets caught down there underneath now. Hickson Brooks did a good job just floating. Ryan Gerard tripods up now. Going to try to peel hands and get away. Not quite able to. Gets brought back down. And now Brooks going for a half on the far side. Now the half on the near side. Ryan's got to try to posture. He's got to keep posturing, posting with that outside right leg, and he's got to get his other leg under, but he's not able to. Gets rolled over to his back here as Hickson Brooks got a deep half. Ryan's fighting hard, but not quite enough. That's going to be 6 points for the Lions. Going to tie this duel up as Hickson Brooks picks up a fall for the Lions. Up next at 92 pounds, we've got Zane Seifert for the Blue Jays. Taking on Cooper Keeley of the Pride. Last 3 matches, you've seen all of our 6th grade crew. And Zane Seifert will be the final straw there. Well, no, we've got more, actually. We've got several 6th graders on our varsity junior high team. Zane Seifert, another one of those 6th graders. Zane's been wrestling now for the junior program here. I think this is his 3rd season and just continues to get better, continues to grow. Now, jumping up onto a junior high dual squad is a tall order, and all these younger guys have done a great job stepping up and filling in, doing what they can to not only help their team, but just to get better, to compete. It does not always mean a win, but it definitely means experience, and that is such a big key thing in wrestling, is to gain experience. And these young men are getting that. It's so valuable. So anyway, Zane got took down there in the first. Now he's grinding on bottom here, trying to get trying to get up. He was on his base. Now he's down on a hip. He's got to get back to his knees. He's trying to posture here out of this half. That's the right thing to do there. So he postured up and he slid his hip under, but he's got to get to his knees, and then from there he's got to stand. He's got to quit messing with these hands or they're going to get caught. So he's got his arm caught underneath there in that bar arm. Now he's tripod up. So close to getting out, but now that inside bar arm got snagged by Cooper Keeley, who's being pretty tough on top here. Grinding now with a spiral ride and an inside bar arm. As Seifert stuck down here on bottom, he's doing a good job maintaining his base. As long as he stays on his base and keeps threatening up, he doesn't have to worry about near fall. But if he gets belly down, that's when near fall becomes an issue. He's got to get his head off the mat as well, or he'll get tucked under. So Zane's got to keep basing up. Keeley doing a good job keeping pressure up top and keeping just a lot of heat on. He's got that far half, which means he's going to try to suck that head under. If he can suck Zane's head under, the hips will follow, and he'll get stacked up. Zane's got to get his head up, and he's got to get his arms back. Referee blows the whistle there as time runs out. Zane did a nice job fighting there. You know, I say, you know, he's got to get his head up, which, yeah, duh, easier said than done. Obviously, Cooper Keeley, a big part of the reason why Zane was having trouble getting off bottom. He did a good job just keeping pressure. Keeley now busy on his feet. Second period, they chose neutral. Keeley goes in for a club and a standing single leg, hooks that leg. Now he's got an inside cradle, and he's got Zane Seifert in trouble here on the edge. Zane's got to try to get this out of bounds. Referee calls a quick pin there, and Zane Seifert falls to Cooper Keeley. That's 6 more points for the Blue Jays. That's going to bump the Blanchard up here. Up next at 98 pounds. Jackson's down here wrestling. Jackson King versus Brentley Job. Jackson trying to get out here. Ends up getting brought down to his back. Now Job's got a half. He's got Jackson in trouble. Jackson trying to fight back to his belly. Another one of our younger 6th graders out here trying to make a mark on varsity. Got it. This is a reverse half caught up in a front headlock. Jackson did a good thing getting up, got caught in a scramble there on his back, and is going to give up 6 more to the Lions. Going to bump that team score up 18-6. And now Kyler Wilder for the Blue Jays. He's going to be taking on Brody Arbuckle at 106 pounds. Kyler Wilder back into action. Missed probably 90% of the season with a broken arm. Started the season off wrestling. After a couple of matches, broke that arm and then came back to us the last duel there in Blackwell. He's back on the mat again, just trying to finish out the season best he can. Kyler, an 8th grader. We'll see him wrestling more next year, obviously, with the high school, possibly down here with the junior high as well, depending on how things work out. But Kyler working to his feet now. Gave up 2 on a takedown. Back to his feet now. As he's trying to battle out of bounds. Looks like Arbuckle's going to release him and let him go. It's going to make the score 2-1. In on a shot here, Kyler Wilder trying to come up with it. As Arbuckle's got inside ties and a heavy collar tie. He's going to work this pass by. A little too loose to hit that. As Wilder was a little savvy to what was going on. Wilder now on a head bang of his own. Really doing a good job now pulling that head down. He's banging the head good now too. Inside tie of his own. He's clamping that head down, trying to get that snap down. He's doing a good job here. Really annoying Arbuckle, which is exactly what you want to do here. Inside tie, heavy club on the head. Nice job by Kyler Wilder. Oh, big touch and go there by Arbuckle for a nice double leg takedown. Kyler Wilder. Almost called him Colby, which would be his brother. Cradle attempt by Arbuckle, and Kyler Wilder reaches up for the head. Did a nice job catching that. Too bad there wasn't more time on the clock. I think Kyler would have pulled that over and caught Arbuckle on his back. Choice is going to go to the Blue Jays. Wilder picks down. Arbuckle chooses to let him go before the whistle. So now they are on their feet. Current score 2-4. Brody Arbuckle of Blanchard up 2 points over Kyler Wilder of the Blue Jays. Kyler in on a shot. Tries for the high crotch. He's a little long now. He sucks it back in. He's got it knee deep. He's got his head up. Arbuckle cross faces him back to the center, but Wilder's got the leg up. He's going for the double. He's running through hard. Arbuckle takes that momentum, slings him around, and able to get Kyler Wilder taken down. Wilder nearly picks up 2 there. Nicely done. But apparently, Kyler got his bell rung. The referee calls some type of a violation. It was a full Nelson. That's going to be 1 point for Kyler Wilder for an illegal hold. No full Nelsons allowed. That was an actual full Nelson, unlike what we saw yesterday. If you were watching that duel, you'll know what I'm talking about. Kyler Wilder with inside ties, going for that double leg again. He's got the double leg. He's got him on his back. Kyler Wilder in position here to pick up a fall. Not quite enough angle to get near fall, but what a nice takedown by Kyler Wilder to tie this match. It had been Brody Arbuckle this entire time. Now Kyler Wilder with a big takedown. He's running a half Nelson like he's trying to win this match. Big half Nelson, runs it over. He's got Arbuckle going to sleep on bottom with the fall. Kyler Wilder at the muzzle picks up the pin for the Blue Jays. Nicely done by Kyler Wilder. Comes back from behind, 4 points down, climbs his way all the way back to a fall. Nice job, Kyler Wilder. Up next for the Blue Jays, Cade Carey. At 112 pounds is going to take on Zyler Roof. Of Blanchard. Cade with a takedown. Lets him go. Now in on another takedown. Getting to work here on top. Most of these wrestlers you're watching early on today are all going to be competing tomorrow at the state tournament for the Junior League. Each one of these guys, 6th graders. And they are all eligible to wrestle with the youth team, and so they're going to be doing that. But they've got to make weight tonight. So most of these guys, after wrestling, are putting their sweats back on, and they're over here on the side running laps. Cade Carey, one of those boys that's going to have to get some more weight off after this match to go weigh in tonight for a state tournament tomorrow. But Cade Carey looking sharp so far today. He's got 4 takedowns. and he is doing work so far. Got his front arm, his right arm is caught right now. Zyler Roof got a hold of that thing, trying to peek out now. Cade able to get that back. As he's really going to work here on top with that inside bar arm. Got this bar arm caught. Now Zyler Roof is trying to get up here. About peeked out the back. Doing a good job staying tough down there. Staying on his knees. Cade Carey, though, now he's got the chicken wing and the bar arm. He's going to run this chicken wing toward the head. Roof doing a good job posting out. But makes an adjustment. It's Cade Carey. He's got Zyler on his back, and he's going to pick up 6 points for the fall. And that is more points on the board for the Blue Jays. Bumping that score up 18-18 as the Blue Jays answer back and get themselves back in this duel. Daniel Allen of the Blue Jays is going to wrestle here. Normally, our man Connor Ace would be the one wrestling at this weight class, but tonight, coach is going to let Daniel get out and get some mat time. He's caught up in a bad way there as he gets pinned by Blanchard's Talon Tucker. Looks like the next matchup at 126 is going to be a forfeit as we move on to 132. Aiden Harden for the Blue Jays is going to be taking on Parker Young. Of the Lion Pride in Blanchard. In on a shot is Young. He's in a deep double leg. Harden not sure what to do on the defense there. Forced to belly out. Gather himself here and see if he can get to work on bottom. Parker Young with a nice aggressive takedown going into that. Now, Aiden Harden, he's going to pick up a point for locked hands here, but the referee's going to give it time. See if he can work himself out, but didn't make that happen. Parker Young locked his hands from the top position. Without an arm and around the waist, you're not allowed to do that. So Aiden Harden's going to earn a point. Locked hands again for Parker Young. That's going to be another point. Now, if Parker Young locks his hand a third time, that's going to be a 2-point violation. So he's already lost 2 points, one at a time, but now it'll be 2-point violations from here on out. Aiden Harden now going to have to get to work on his feet. Another big shot. Parker Young does a good job shooting in underneath of the tall Aiden Harden. Harden now trying to get his leg back. He's got a whizzer in. He's got a shin whizzer. Not enough pressure with it. He's trying to stomp his foot down now. Got a good crossface. He's putting a lot of pressure on this as Parker Young's trying his best to pull that leg back up. Aiden Harden now trying to get a single leg of his own, starting to use this length to his advantage. He's got to stomp his foot down so he can get leverage to pull that knee back up. Almost trying to get in a switch position. Did a good job defending that, though. Nice job by Aiden defending that shot. He's got to get back into a better stance, or Parker Young is going to get his own shot. Nice high crotch here by Aiden Harden. High crotch cuts to the double, peeks out the back, and picks up 2 points on the takedown. And that's going to make 2 points for Aiden Harden. Back to work here on top. So Aiden Harden got 2 points from locked hands. He got a point for an escape, and he got his own takedown. So all points tallied up is 5 points for Aiden Harden, who starts on top here in the second. He's got a leg in, but he's lacing that toe, which is going to get him in trouble if his hip hits the ground. Aiden's got to get back into saddle. Right now he's on the side saddle, but he's going to put both legs in. That's good. Now he's got saddle position with 2 legs in. He's got to unlace his toe if he wants to do anything productive here. Going for a half, but his half was on the wrong side. Both legs are out. Now he's back to work here with an inside bar arm. He's digging a leg back in. Both legs in. Going to stretch him out. He's got a half now. He's got the elbow high. He's not quite able to keep it. He's doing a good job here, doing what you want to do. Just securing that half harder than it looks, but he's doing a nice job now. He's trying to Turk. See, he's got that toe hooked. You can't Turk very well with the toe hooked. Working against himself. If he had saddle position in a figure 4, he'd Turk that all day. But see, he's got his toe hooked on the leg he's trying to Turk, so he's basically holding down the leg he's trying to Turk and working against himself. He's got the right idea, but the wrong application. So Aiden Harden playing with a new toy here as he puts those legs in, just trying to figure out how to make all that work. Doing a good job. He's got the right idea. And now we've got some blood time, so we're going to take a little time out here as Coach Caleb Gibson down there with Aiden Harden, talking about catching that elbow high half when he's got the legs in. Looks like maybe he's telling him to squeeze a hold of your own wrist so he doesn't pull it off. Offering some pointers down there as they get things cleaned up here. Looks like the Blanchard wrestler was the one doing a little bleeding, got a bloody nose. Blood time, they'll give him 5 minutes to bleed and then as much time as needed to clean things up. So typically matches are not stopped for the reason of blood. It's just a courtesy, obviously, to get things cleaned up so they can keep things sanitary and get these guys back on the mat. Working over there on the sidelines. Head coach Cody Hill stepping in to help out the junior high coach. Get things cleaned up and get these kids back on the mat. Cody Hill, former OSU wrestler, state champion from out east. Marlow, I believe, is where he wrestled in high school. As time runs out in the second period, Aiden Harden dominant on top. Still out in front of Parker Young, 5-2. As Parker Young is going to let Aiden Harden go at the whistle. He shoots in again deep on a double. That's the second deep double leg that Parker Young has scored with. He gets 2 for the takedown, and now he's bringing this match in closer. He lets Aiden Harden go. Aiden wisely spins around, catches his own high crotch, cuts that to a double, gets himself back on top. Aiden Harden now up 9-4 and really going back to work with these legs. Wasn't in position to put those in, kind of forced it. As he rolls through, Aiden Harden follows, kind of floats across the top there, and now back in goes the leg. There's that figure 4 I was talking about. And now he gets into a bit of a scramble here. Bails out the wrong way. But I guess wisely let go so he didn't give up a fall. And now Parker Young putting in a half. But Aiden Harden's got hand control, post on the outside. Looks like he's going to come back to his feet here. Trying to get a locked hands call. Referee not quite in position to see that. Two or three times there. Referee was there watching. And now Aiden Harden gets an escape. That puts him up 10-6. Look for Parker Young to get back on that double leg. That's what he's been hitting on Aiden all night. Aiden able to pull out the win here. Good job by Aiden Harden, looking tough on top as he picks up a 3-point victory for his Blue Jays. And that's going to bump the Blue Jays up 3 points over the Blanchard Lions. Going to wrestle now at 126 pounds. I'm sorry. Maybe 132 pounds. No, 140. 140 pounds. Colton Stevens wrestling for the Blue Jays. Colton wrestled yesterday at 120 pounds. 120 pounds. He wrestled for the Blue Jays high school team in the duels. Got him a big win in the match against Edison. And now bumping him way up to 140 pounds to take on Journey Cosby. In on a shot here, Cosby quite a bit heavier. Looks like he's using that weight and a heavy hip to try to stop Colton Stevens, but Stevens just being relentless in here, not able to use his size, so he's just going to use his experience, using his leverage. He's got a big takedown, and now he's got him on his back going for this big half. Colton Stevens now trying to settle in. Doing a good job here, just staying in good position. Even though he's outsized, he's using good position to make the most of this. He's got him on top now. Looks like Journey's going to weasel his way out as he grabs the leg of Colton Stevens. As Cosby's trying to cut back in, Stevens staying heavy with that hip. He's got the ankle in the back. He's just going to settle in here. With 21 seconds to go in the first period. Reaches back now for a headlock. Colton Stevens not in the best of positions. He's really going the wrong way for that, but he catches the half on the far side. Already scored here once. He's going to try to score again. Down under 5 seconds, going to run out of time before he can get any near fall. Big period for Colton Stevens. That puts him up 5-0 over Journey Cosby. Choice is going to go to Guthrie, and Colton Stevens chooses to go bottom. Journey Cosby of Blanchard is going to start on top. And we start action here in the second period. Big tight waist by Journey Cosby. And now really taking advantage of his size, as he's got Colton Stevens belly down here pretty tight. Big long arms of Journey Cosby made for a nice tight waist. Now he's got a chicken wing pulled up. Really not a good spot for Colton. He's got to get back to his base. He's going to have to posture away from this or he's going to find himself in trouble. He's posturing well, but he's going to have to start building up, or the size of Cosby could be too much if he gets turned in this chicken wing. Not looking good for Colton. That's a big, big chicken wing, and it's tight. Colton Stevens, again, using that experience to take the momentum and shift his weight and kick out of that. Risky, but effective. Colton Stevens able to come out on top. He has not scored any points yet because technically Journey Cosby has not lost control. He still has that inside leg, so technically he's still considered to be on top. But Colton Stevens going for a cradle on that far side. Nearly has a spladle. Just doesn't know that he has it. So he's got this cradle hooked up. Technically, though, Journey Cosby's going to be happy to get a stalemate here if he can. Referee's allowing the wrestling to continue. Colton just needs to get an escape here. But it looks like he's not going to get that. Going to end the first period. I'm sorry, going to end the second period at 5-2. Colton Stevens still ahead. And now Wisely, it's Blanchard's choice, and Wisely, their coaches tell Journey Cosby to go back on top. He had success there in the second period, picked up a couple near fall with that big chicken wing, obviously using that size to his advantage. and did a nice job with it. Colton Stevens trying to base up here off bottom and now caught on his belly again. Journey Cosby going right back to that bar arm. He's fixing to pull that chicken wing back as well. Colton doing a good job keeping his arms straight, trying to stay out of it. That big tight waist. Look how big that tight waist is. I mean, his arm is wrapping nearly halfway around Colton's back. And as Colton stands up, he hits a little, just a little trip switch kind of. More or less switched his hips, and now he's nearly on top. He's got the inside leg caught. Crosby's not in a good position here as Colton Stevens picks up 2 reversal, and he's got the half. Look at this deep, deep half. Crosby's in trouble as Colton Stevens has a nasty deep half in, just trying to hoss him over here. Now he's got him tipped over, and this half is deep, and this half is tight, and Crosby, 33 seconds to go in the third, ran out of time as Colton Stevens, using that high school varsity experience to take out the bigger and stronger Cosby. Gets 6 points for his Blue Jays. Nicely done by Colton Stevens. Really just one moment there where he was in a pickle, and he finds a way out and finds a way to get the job done. So happy to see Colton Stevens doing so well. Up next at 1:55. Looks like we've got Elijah Jones for the Blue Jays. And he's going to be taking on Trevor Graves of Blanchard. Now, one thing about Elijah that we've got to see quite a bit of is a nice double leg. We'll see if he's able to knock that thing out. Big lateral drop. A lat drop by Elijah Jones. A big lat drop. Referees missed the fall already twice. Not in a position to see. He's not in a position to see the shoulders of Journey Cosby. And Elijah Jones with a big 5-point throw did a great job in a big throw. What an excitement this young man is. Unfortunately, the referee did not put himself in a position to see the fall where our camera had it dead on. And Trevor Ingalls, of Blanchard, was in a tough spot there. Trevor Ingalls was dead to rights. Referee walked around the wrong side and missed everything. Dodged the bullet there was Blanchard, and now Elijah Jones back on his feet. I was going to brag on how good his double leg was, and right before I finish my sentence, he throws that huge lat drop. Got the crowd here on the visitor side fired up. Now Trevor Ingalls trying to get back in this matchup as he earned the escape there. Now he goes in on a double. Really kind of pushing Elijah Jones around. Elijah in on a high C now. Big lift. And now the neck whip. Trevor Jones with a big neck whip to stop that. Gets himself in a tilt position. Able to pick up the fall over Elijah Jones. Big turn of events there as he gets a big defensive takedown. And then just whips Elijah Jones over in a tilt position and picks up the fall for the Blue Jays. Bumping up to 175 pounds, Trevor Graves for the Blue Jays. Normally a 55-pounder. He's going to bump up here and take on Aiden Young. Aiden Young for Blanchard. Current dual score 33-30. Guthrie still in the lead, but barely. So far, this duel could go to either team as it's been a back-and-forth battle as Aiden Young picks up a takedown for Blanchard, and that's going to be 2 points. Puts a leg in, and now he's really going to work here on Trevor Graves. Trevor, first year this year, picked it up. Hard worker in the room, getting better. Big half, though. Aiden Young did a good job getting legs in, did a good job putting in a deep elbow-high half. Trevor Graves fought best he could. Just got in a position that was tough to get out of as the more experienced Aiden Young looks sharp there. Big takedown, puts a leg in very nicely, gets an elbow-high half, as you're supposed to do from that position, and able to pick up the fall nicely. Looks like Bryce Dennis going to be taking on Braden Wilkie at 195 pounds. Bryce Dennis, a freshman for the Blue Jays. Going for a headlock here. Misses the headlock, and now Wilkie gets the takedown as Bryce Dennis gets the escape here. Going to bring the score 2-1, and now these guys are back to work. Bryce Dennis in on a nice running single leg, like a single leg pick. Able to pick up 2, but now Wilkie with the escape. That's going to be 3-3. It's in a takedown and an escape each. A very busy first period. Dennis back in for that snatch single. Misses his attempt. Wilkie did a nice job blocking that shot. Now Wilkie, knee pick of his own. Bryce Dennis answers back with a big double leg. Shot, reshot. Grabs the double leg, picks up 2 more. Back and forth first period for these 95-pounders, 195-pounders. Bryce Dennis way too high on this crossface. Could allow Wilkie the chance to circle right back up and get out. As Wilkie picks up another escape. Bryce Dennis now fighting for inside tie position. As we conclude the first period of this busy matchup, Bryce Dennis up 5-4 with 2 takedowns of his own. Bryce Dennis for the Blue Jays is going to go bottom to start this matchup. Looks like somebody lost a mouthpiece. Start that second period, but they're back to work now. Bryce Dennis trying to get out, ends up crawling out of bounds. 1:12 left to go. Junior high has 2-minute first period, and then 1.5 second and third periods. A little shorter duration the last 2 goes, so these periods will go a little bit quicker. Bryce Dennis back on bottom. Braden Wilkie on top, goes for double high thigh here, and now the arm chalk. Breaks Bryce down. Bryce back to his base, elbows and knees. He's got to try to come up to his feet here. Was able to escape in the first period and get away and get back up and get some takedowns. Needs an escape here as he's working his way towards the edge. Really needs to get to his feet so he can get out. Wilkie doing a nice job on top. Just staying behind the arms and grinding and making things tough. on Bryce Dennis. Dennis looking like he's wearing out here. Not getting back to the center as quickly as he was earlier, as Braden Wilkie starting to wear down the Blue Jay. As we get set here, back to action, double high thigh again. Looks like Wilkie likes to hit that double high thigh and then transition to the other side and get the arm chop. But Bryce Dennis now is back on his feet. He's got to try to sprawl and get his leg back, but Wilkie does a nice job just running the pipe, puts him back in crackdown to his hip, and now he's covering again. Dennis has got to get to his belly or Wilkie's going to hit a half here, as he did. And now Dennis getting to his feet. He's in tripod. He's in tripod, not quite able to get out, but he's threatening here, which is going to keep him off his back, but he's got to keep moving. And now Wilkie's got that inside bar arm, trying to catch it with the other hand and grab a seatbelt as well. But Bryce Dennis not able to get out on bottom, but he was definitely able to keep Wilkie from scoring any more points. Choice in the third period is going to go to Blanchard. Braden Wilkie is going to choose bottom as Bryce Dennis covers. We're back to action. So far, Bryce Dennis leads this match 5-4 in this third period. If Bryce is able to stay on top without scoring any points, he can win this match. Wilkie is going to have to either get an escape to tie it or a reversal to get in the lead if he wants to make this a match. Looks like he's going to get the escape. Match is tied. Someone is going to have to score a point here, or we're going to be going into overtime. Bryce Dennis on a double leg. He scored with it already. Mouthpiece falls out. Wilkie, the second time he's lost that mouthpiece. Must be getting tired. He's got his mouth open. As he goes for the single leg, Bryce Dennis going out of bounds, nearly falls over and gives up two. Looks like he is wearing out both these athletes, very tired. That first period they wrestled was very busy. And now we're getting into the depths of the third period with 30 seconds to go. Both these athletes are going to have to dig deep. Any man's match at this point, going to come down to who wants this point the worst, which one of these guys is going to be able to take the risk and has enough left in the gas tank to make a good effort and score 2 points. Bryce Dennis's head's wearing heavy. His feet are getting slow. Wilkie's coming on strong. Wilkie's got that ankle. Bryce Dennis trying for the headlock again. Dennis able to stay on his feet. And now Wilkie dives out to try to pick up 2. Bryce Dennis able to hang on. As they go out of bounds and time runs out, we are now into overtime. Overtime's going to be 1 minute. Overtime's going to be 1 minute. It's going to take them a minute to get the clock set for that. They've got to do a custom setting here. They've got that going. We're in overtime now. If anyone scores first, they will win the match. Bryce Dennis takes a big double leg here. Somehow Wilkie scrambles out of the double leg and picks up a 2-point takedown. Bryce Dennis had a nice double leg takedown, and somehow Braden Wilkie did a great job scrambling and ends up on top. Picks up the takedown for the win. That's going to be 3 more points for Blanchard, and that is going to be a win for them. Looks like now, as we go into heavyweight, I do not think that the Blue Jays have anyone. That's going to be 6 more points as they forfeit heavyweight, and that is going to put the final score of this duel, 42 points for Blanchard over the Guthrie Bluejays, 33. Blanchard's going to take this one in what was a back-and-forth duel. Kind of came down to the last couple of matches. The Blue Jays bumped up some of their last weights, try to fill some holes there, and they came up a little short. Blanchard's going to walk away with this one. We are going to take a quick time out. Brought to you by F&M Bank.
For centuries, it was a windswept prairie until the run of '89 saw settlers scramble for land and life in a newborn town as Oklahoma's territorial capital, Guthrie. Bank First is loyal to the preservation movement that reclaimed Oklahoma's first state capital. And we're loyal to the banking legacy born at the corner of First and Oklahoma streets. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
At Generations Church, we exist to love God, love people, and serve both well. We're a multi-generational, multicultural church that believes in being a light to our city and our region. At Generations, we don't believe that church can be put in a box. We're a church that accepts all people from all walks of life, young, old, rich, and poor, and you will feel welcome at Generations. Join us at 10 a.m. every Sunday at 2524 West Noble in Guthrie, America. You can also join us at generationsguthrie.online.church.
All right, folks, we are back to action here. I say action, there's a little bit of a break between the high school and the junior high. Junior high very close to picking up a win there. Had to shuffle a couple of weights. And as our trusted Chris Evans pointed out, we were close to a fall that didn't get called. That would have been a 12-point swing, which would have been enough to get the win. So anyway, close duel. Blue Jays did a nice job, had some big wins for their guys, and we were happy with the performance of our junior high kids. Again, Sean Silvis alongside Lindsey Silvis on the camera tonight. Also, Connor Ace. I would throw him on the broadcast, but he had to sit out and go get himself a drink. He's been running the clock for me so far, so I really appreciate their help. Producing and doing all this stuff, plus talking, is a lot for one guy. I'm happy to do it, but I'm also glad when I get help, so I appreciate those guys stepping in. We've got a big high school matchup. Going to look a little bit different than normal, as Coach is going to bump up most of our normal lineup because these boys wrestled 4 dual matches yesterday. And so these guys, he's going to give them a little bit of a break and bump everybody up for this duel. Just try to keep guys in the lineup. We do have a couple guys going to be sitting out, a little bit banged up. Coach would rather have them healthy in the postseason than just pick up one single win here. So I'm going to take one more timeout, and then we will step back in here as this duel should be taken off. I'll do a little Bank First pregame for you as well. This break brought to you by F&M Bank.
Aspen Roofing is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience and achievements across Oklahoma. Aspen Roofing takes pride in the personal service we provide on each job, and we strive to maintain the highest level of quality while offering our customers a reasonable price. It is our commitment to help you understand the process of getting a new roof from start to finish. Call Robbie Hudson for a free roofing estimate at 405-562-0026.
Exxon was founded by 2 combat-proven veterans to help businesses grow from mediocre to exceptional. We know from experience that your culture and trust throughout the organization drive superior performance. Most business owners focus on the urgent rather than the important. They are just struggling to survive. The team at Exxon helps owners identify challenges, build solutions, and focus on growth. Do you trust your team? Does your team trust you? If not, we can help. We are Exxon.
And back to action here.
Is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience in
Back to live here inside of the Blanchard High School Gymnasium. Sean Silvis for the GMP Network as the Guthrie High School fixing to take on the Blanchard Lion Pride in a high school duel. Going to be the final duel, final regular season duel for the Blue Jays. Next time we'll see them in action after tonight will be at Dual State. The boys competed yesterday, 4 duels, where they took on Pryor, Bishop Kelly, then Sapulpa, and then last they wrestled, you're making me think all the way back to yesterday. I can't remember who their last match was. Anyway, they won all 4 duels. Each one of the kids wrestled well. A lot of mat time for the guys. A lot of the kids, we got several guys at each weight. Everybody got some matches in. The boys wrestled great. Really walked away with each one of the duels, which after winning that tournament qualified them for Dual State. Dual State's going to be in a couple weeks up in Enid. And so congratulations to our Guthrie Blue Jays for picking up a big opportunity at dual qualifiers so that they can go into Dual State. Trying to look down here, guys. I apologize. I'm distracted. Trying to find out what's going on as far as when this duel is going to start. But in the meantime, I would like to take a second to thank our gold member sponsors of the Booster Club. And I want to thank them because they make it possible for our team to travel, for our kids to eat, for them to get gear. It takes a lot to keep our wrestlers going. It takes a lot to keep them supported sufficiently. And because of our sponsors of this Booster Club, they are able to get what they need to be successful. Dr. Dawn, we want to give her a big shout out. Dr. Dawn's Chiropractic Center. Dr. Dawn not only supports the Booster Club, but she also just takes care of our wrestlers. If it's not every day, it's every other day. She's either at the school or the boys are going up to see her just to keep them everything from taped up to healed up to doctored up. Dr. Dawn is just taking care of our wrestlers. Just such a big asset to have, just loving on our kids and just helping to keep them healthy and on the mat. We want to thank Dr. Dawn for supporting our kids. Carey Electric, James Carey and his family, just, a family full of wrestlers and just a wrestling family in general, kind of the backbone of the Booster Club. They not only support the Booster Club, but they also help run the Booster Club, and they're doing such a good job. They literally go and buy the food for these kids to get them fed after the weigh-ins. And I'm telling you, after these boys have been hungry all week and they can finally eat, they put down some food. And the Careys not only are supporting the Booster Club, they actually go out and do a lot of things physically that are necessary to keep support for our boys, and we really appreciate them doing that. Our friends down at Second Banana Media are, Ronnie and Chris and Ronnie and Chris and Phil. I just love those guys down at Second Banana Media. This year they hopped on board to help support our wrestlers. Really appreciate everything they're doing. I'm sure they're at home watching. Just want to give them a shout out. Awesome to have them on board helping support things. Grace Construction, another batch of wrestling families and wrestling supporters. These guys came on board last year, and we're really happy that they continue to support our Blue Jays and continue to support our community. Be Well Acupuncture hopped on this year to be a part of this program as well. Such a big contribution that they have made, and we just want to thank them for that. Ronnie Phillips and his family at Mosquito and Pest Authority. His son has been helping me run the score clock tonight. Connor Ace. And we do appreciate them helping out the Booster Club as well. Just a wrestling family now. Both their little guys wrestle for our kids club, and then Connor Ace wrestling for the junior high wrestling family. Wrestlers supporting wrestlers, so we want to thank Mosquito and Pest Authority for jumping on board the Booster Club this year. KO Property Development came on this year as well and has made a big contribution. We really appreciate them coming in and taking care of our kiddos. Nelson Monument Company, Asa and his family. Cannot say enough good things about Asa and his family. They actually helped start our Little League program all these years ago, and they have not just been supporting financially but physically. They gave us their sons, who from junior league all the way up to junior high, all the way through high school, their boys wrestled, competed. Asa spent many, many, many hours. I'm sure his wife spent many more hours behind the scenes just keeping this wrestling program going, and now their boys are all grown and gone, and they continue to support our team, and we really appreciate Nelson Monument Company and that Nelson family for supporting our Blue Jays. And last but not least, Topco Cabinets and Countertops. jumped on board this year to help sponsor our boosters. And Top Go has some grandchildren that wrestle for our high school and for our Little League program as well. So we want to thank them and really appreciate their contribution in helping sponsor our booster club. Again, all these sponsors done such a good job in stepping in, and again, everything that they do allows our booster club to support this wrestling team. None of this is free. It all costs something. A lot of people pay their time, and a lot of people have to fill in where they can't give time, and you know, they're sponsoring the booster club so that the boosters can go out and buy gear, so that the boosters can go out and buy food. It also takes traveling expenses, everything from gas money to buses to vans to hotel rooms to just all the things it takes to get these kids where they need to go, to get them what they need to be successful. They are out there doing what they need to do, and so this booster club really appreciates everything that our sponsors are doing. Again, just want to give them all a special shout out and a special thank you for what they're doing. Guys, we're going to take one more time out, and then this pregame, Bank First pregame show will continue until this duel starts. Looks like we're going to start here in just a few minutes. This break brought to you by F&M Bank.
At Terry Insure Group, you'll be helped by lifelong Blue Jay fans. Seth Robbins, Jason Herzl, and Dennis Oakes aren't limited to any single provider. We'll work with you to find the carrier and the plan that fits you best. Terry Insure Group is an independent insurance agency specializing in home, auto, and commercial lines of insurance. Call Terry Insure Group at 405-293-4880 or stop by at 622 South Division or visit them online at tigok.com. Terry Insure Group, insuring your world.
Tina and Stefan and the entire staff, they are who you see them be. I mean, they're genuine people. They care about people. They've spent their entire lives in healthcare.
I can honestly say I'm 65 years old, and I'm probably in the best health I've been in my whole life, to be honest with you. And it's thanks to Stefan and his staff here, because everything they've done for me is just worked tremendously.
I just highly recommend Strive to anybody who's wanting to see a real improvement in their overall health, to be quite frank, their quality of life.
Welcome back, wrestling fans. Sean Silvis inside of the Blanchard High School Gymnasium, where we are live as we watch the high school boys out on the mat getting warmed up. We're going to do a pregame, Bank First pregame show brought to you by Bank First. As we run through the lineup today, going to expect to see Joel Landry at 106 pounds. Now, Joel, first-year wrestling, has done a nice job for the Blue Jays. Actually picked up his first takedown this past, well, actually it was yesterday on Wednesday. Did a good job there picking up a takedown. Starting to get some experience, doing some good things. Excited to see Joel improve as his career continues. At 113, we're going to see Caden Herendeen. At 113, we're going to pick up Caden Herendeen. Now, guys, I'm going to quiet down just a little bit. They're going to be doing senior night as we do this Bank First pregame show. But Caden Herendeen, our stud, at 113 pounds. May bump up to 120, not sure. He weighed in at 113, but Blanchard does not have a 106, 113, or 120 pounder. So Guthrie is going to have two of those weights filled, and so we're going to pick up 12 points just to start the duel there. So anyway, we're not going to get to see Caden Herendeen wrestle, but he at least weighed in so he can get that done. At 126, Aiden Smith is going to jump in there and take on Tyler Messenheimer. Now, we have not seen Aiden wrestle in the last few weeks. He did make 106 pounds before Christmas, but has considered that weight to be too hard to make and is no longer going to go down. So he is kind of juggling there, trying to figure out where he's going to set. But looks like he's going to be wrestling junior varsity. But tonight he's going to step in at 126 and wrestle. Bumping up from 126 is at 132. Dax Lopez is going to wrestle. Normally Dax is at 126. But like I say, all these weights we're going to be bumping up one, seems like, from here on out. So Dax Lopez going to wrestle for the Blue Jays at 132. Dax had a good week. A good day yesterday. Had a lot of good offensive things going on, and so it's going to be excited to see Dax Lopez pick up some more experience tonight. Luke Lyons is going to wrestle 138. Luke started to get aggressive with his hands on his feet. about 3 weeks ago, and I keep getting excited just thinking about the potential that Luke Lyons has when he can be aggressive and offensive. So aggressive and offensive is what I'm hoping to see out of Luke Lyons tonight. If we see that, we're going to see good things happen for Luke. At 144, Clayton Carey's going to bump up to 144, and Clayton Carey, the freshman, has not been wrestling like a freshman. Clayton Carey's been wrestling like a high school varsity wrestler. Expect to see a lot of aggression out of Clayton Carey, and my tagline for him all year, if there's time on the clock, there is time for Clayton Carey to win. So there is that. Looks like during this pregame show, I'm going to get cut down a little bit early because they are fixing to walk out the Blanchard Lions wrestling team. Got the spotlight on it, and they are going to fire this up. I'll try to walk through this before the announcements start. Bump it up to 150. Robert Brown is going to wrestle. Robert stepped in for us. The first time he wrestled for the Blue Jays was Wednesday. Robert, a transfer in from Rogers over in Tulsa, finally got himself eligible to compete for the Blue Jays, having to wait on transfer portal stuff, but he is coming in to wrestle. He was a state placer last year, wrestled like he knew what he was doing for sure as he comes in for the Blue Jays at 150. 157, Roston Usselton is going to jump in there. Freshman Roston Usselton has been wrestling good as well. We're going to bump up Rowan McComb to 165, where he's going to be bumping up quite a bit. That's going to be a tall order for him. He normally weighs in as a 150-pounder. Going to have to wrestle 157. That is going to be a big jump for Rowan. But if anybody is game for a good fight, I put my money on Rowan McComb. Now, 175, Bryson Hall is going to bump up from 65 to compete there. At 190, Tyler Gettings is going to pick up and wrestle in place of Wesley Silvas. Wesley Silvas is going to sit out tonight, so Tyler's going to bump up to 90 and wrestle for him. At 215, Eli Maroney is going to step in and wrestle. That is his normal weight. And at 285, Nick Herendine will be wrestling as well. So should be a fun duel, and they should do a good job. I'm going to step aside real quick while we do these announcements, and we will pick back up when this duel starts.
120, we have no weight. 126, for Guthrie, we have Aiden Smith. For your Blanchard Lions, we have Tyler Eisenheimer. And 132, for Guthrie, we have Dax Lopez. For your Blanchard Lions, we have Cotton Cosby. And 138, Guthrie, we have Luke Lyons. For Blanchard, we have Cooper Smith. 144, we have for Guthrie, Clayton Carey. For Blanchard, we have Tegan Trevor. At 150 pounds, Guthrie has Robert Brown. Blanchard has Ala Autry. At 157, for Guthrie, we have Roston Houston. For Blanchard, we have Anthony Fox. At 165, Guthrie has Rowan McCord. Blanchard, we have Roach. At 175, for Guthrie, we have Bryson Hall. For your Blanchard Lions, we have Brody Curtis. At 190 pounds, for Guthrie, we have Tyler Gettings. For your Blanchard Lions, we have Braxton Rinkin. At 215 pounds, for Guthrie, we have Eli Maroney. And for your Blanchard Lions, we have Gavin Rich. And for the big boys in heavyweight, for Guthrie, we have Nick Henry. And for your Blanchard Lions, we have the senior Ryder Dog.
All right, folks, that is our lineup for this duel. So we're fixing to get things kicked off. One thing I noticed right out of the bat, just head-to-head, size for size, Guthrie's going to be a little bit outmatched here as far as a lot of our younger wrestlers are finally settling into their weights and getting some good matchups. Now we're going to be a little bit outsized. Again, you know, it's coaches did not show up today with the idea of winning this duel when this week started was not the first thing on their list. I talked about it earlier in the pre-show, but you know, to start this week, the idea was, okay, we've got to get into dual state. What do we need to do to make that happen? We need to put our best lineup together, get our guys ready to go, and go out and win 4 tough duels against 4 tough teams. That's what they did yesterday. The duels yesterday was supposed to be last Tuesday. So it was going to be wrestle, you know, the duels last Tuesday and then focus on Blanchard this week. But the way the weather worked, they postponed that dual tournament. They postponed it till yesterday. And so coaches had to come in this week and say, okay, what's most important? Well, what's most important is making dual state. So they focused on dual state. They got dual state taken care of, and now they're going to deal with Blanchard the best way they can. So they've kind of bumped all the kids up. Yesterday was a tough day, a long day, a lot of wrestling. All the boys had to make weight again. So they focused on that, got that done. Today we're going to bump up here. It's not that they're not going to try to win this duel. It's not that that's not important to them, but it was more important to make sure that we took care of business at dual state. That's what they've done. So going into today's duel, this is not the team that we would have normally brought here in the same condition or situation that we normally would have brought here either. So like I say, we've bumped everybody up. You know, we've got a couple guys not in the lineup, and so it could look a little different than it might otherwise. You know, Blanchard isn't full at all their weights, but where they have wrestlers, Blanchard's a tough 4A team. They finished at the top of 4A on more than one occasion. 4A very tough in Oklahoma, and Blanchard a very good team in Oklahoma. And so with all that said, you know, this is going to be a tall order for Guthrie. It's going to be a tall order for Guthrie to pull this off under the circumstances. But again, with the circumstances where they are, coaches felt that winning dual state was much more important than winning a 4A duel against Blanchard. So with that said, Guthrie's going to come out in front, and it's going to be 12-0 on the team score to start things out. There were 2 forfeits, and there was 1 weight where there were no forfeits. So basically that was just a wash, and now the overall score is going to be 12-0. Starting off here for the Blue Jays is going to be Aiden Smith for Guthrie. Aiden, we haven't seen him wrestle since he was at 106 quite a while ago, maybe even against Blackwell. I think maybe we saw him wrestle there. Was very good at 106. Very sharp, good size for 106, awful small for a 126-pounder, but this is where he feels more comfortable, and so he is going to go out against Tyler Meisenheimer and try his hand here as he gave up an early takedown. 2 early takedowns, couple escapes. And we're going to work here. Big double leg here by Meisenheimer with another takedown. Going to be 2 more points. Meisenheimer's going to let him go. Going out front for this neck whip. He's going to pull that off. This is going to be a fall. This is super tight. Big time 6-point by Meisenheimer. It's going to be 6 points for Blanchard as Meisenheimer, tough kid, comes out, picks up some quick points. 132, we're going to go to Dax Lopez. Again, all these wrestlers going up one. Quick takedown, a quick shot, I guess, on the whistle. Cotton Cosby from Blanchard. It's a big pass by. And the takedown. And on a high crotch of his own, big heavy hit by Cosby. Peels those hands, trying to circle around. Lopez tries for that little whip over. Not able to get it. Lopez able to stop that, but now Cosby going for something big. He keeps letting go a little stuff to go for something big. Lopez too good to let that happen. And now Cosby trying to get low. Aggressive early on, gets 2 early takedowns. Lopez now slowing things down, trying to get back in this match. Big, heavy collar tie. Inside ties both guys. Tap and go. Lopez, good timing, but didn't penetrate at all. Just dropped to his knees for that single leg. And without the penetration, Cosby able to go over, able to come around back for the 2. Cosby tried that whip over again. Lopez tries to basically spin through. Cosby follows the spin, comes around behind, and now he's got the inside bar arm. That's 3 takedowns in the first period. It's going to bump him up 6-2 over Dax Lopez. 20 seconds to go. Lopez stuck down here on bottom with that inside bar arm. Cosby being tough on top. Like I say, this Blanchard team is well coached, and where they've got wrestlers, they've got talent. And with Guthrie bumping everyone up, this duel's likely to look a lot like what we're seeing here. Dax Lopez, one of our better wrestlers. Dax is no stranger to this sport, but definitely giving up some size here. It's going to be that way all night. Trying to get busy on top, but Cosby able to counter that with a big heavy wing and spin back around and get on top for 2 more. That's going to put him up 8-2 as he goes to work on top here with a big. He's got a cross arm, not quite to the elbow deep, but we've got some blood here by Lopez. Or perhaps it's Cosby bleeding. Now it looks like Lopez has a bloody nose. So we make a quick timeout here as these boys get things cleaned up. While I've got timeout here, just like to thank our broadcast sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Our friends down at Bank First, at F&M Bank, our friends at North Church and John Vance Auto and Generations Church. We really appreciate those guys and all that they're doing to keep us live on the air. Again, want to thank Exxon, our friends down at South Point Baptist Church, my good friend Paul Creed over at A-Team Overhead Doors. Also want to thank TIG Insurance, Strive Wellness Lounge, and Aspen Roofing. These guys are making this broadcast possible so that you folks at home can sit back and enjoy the Blue Jay wrestling season if you're not able to make it. So we want to thank those guys. We're back to action here in the second period. Dax Lopez on bottom, gets to his feet quick, trying to peel hands, trying to get out here. As Cotton Cosby with a big lift, he returns Lopez, was letting Lopez go earlier and now trying to ride him out. Lopez fighting to stay to his base. He's got to stay fighting on his base like he is and getting to his feet. If he gets broke down to his belly, this bigger Cosby is going to try to keep him flattened out so he can go to work and score points from top. Cosby doing a good job staying behind the arms and staying on that hip, but Lopez gets to his feet trying to get out of bounds. Cosby able to push him out and stay in the top position. 49 seconds to go in the second period. Dax Lopez on bottom. Comes up quick to his feet. Back to his hands. Cosby wrestling tough on top. Grinding hard, but Lopez gets back to his feet. He's doing a good job just with that knee sliding and coming up, but Cosby just kind of weathers the storm. He stays on the hip and catches that inside bar, and that's allowing him to just ride back here. Lopez, though, battling hard. He's stuck under here, but he's not done wrestling. He's got hand control. He's got big hand control. Cosby trying to push him back out again. Lopez able to circle forward, and Cosby shoots him out of bounds with 12 seconds left to go in the second period. Cosby starting to wear down a little bit. You can see it on his face. He's starting to wear down. Lopez tries a big roll. Cosby, though, rolls through with it. And able to finish this second period out on top. Good period there for Cotton Cosby as he was able to stay in top control against a very busy Dax Lopez. Lopez did a good job on bottom staying busy, just not able to get out. Going to be Guthrie's choice in the third. Lopez chooses neutral. And he did get in on a couple of shots. He had a high crotch and a near side single in the first. Big headlock by Cosby. And this is not going to be good for Dax Lopez. Lopez able to step over the leg. Cosby lets go of the headlock and transitions back in control. Was afraid Lopez was going to roll through that. And so Cosby wisely let go of the head, went back to the legs. Lopez trying to get smart there and roll out of bounds. Cosby was smart to it early, lets go and goes back to the legs. Cosby, though, with that headlock, is going to pick up 2 more points on the takedown. That's going to put him up 12-2 over Dax Lopez. Lopez getting stuck on bottom here again as Cosby really just a hammer on top. Lopez a couple of times in the second period was able to get up and get loose. Fought for some good hand control, but Cosby just good enough to keep him down. As we saw there, Lopez got up, got loose, tried to do a hip heist, but Cosby just good enough to stay with it, follow through, and end up back on top. And for his effort, Lopez goes from almost out to now stuck on his belly underneath a very game Cosby. Again, Lopez is starting to build up, starting to get loose. Cosby now puts a leg in. Doesn't act like he wants to do much with it, just wants to ride. He's got both legs in now. That's going to be tough for Lopez to get out of. That's not a quick position to beat. Under 5 seconds to go. We're going to end the period here as Cotton Cosby picks up a 4-point for his team in the major decision victory over Dax Lopez. Next matchup at 138 pounds. Guthrie's going to bring out Luke Lyons. Going to bump him up to take on Cooper Smith of Blanchard. Dual score so far going good for Blanchard. Luke Lyons off to a fresh start here. Fast start, I guess. Takedown 2. Tried to pick up some near fall for his effort. Didn't get it, but he did get the 2. Now he's going to work on top. He's got a bar arm. He had the seat belt. Now he looks like he's maybe trying to pull up a chicken wing here. He's got the chicken wing hooked up. He's got the bar arm on the far side, but he's running out of real estate. As Cooper Smith's starting to get out of bounds, Luke Lyons trying to turn him back in. If he turns him a little bit further, he might be able to run that chicken wing, but he lets it go to do a cross arm dump. Luke really juggling with what to do on the edge here. Everything he hooks up, he needs to drive over, and he can't drive over because that's the out of bounds. So he tries to turn him, do it again. So he's just flirting on the edge here, trying to figure out how to get some near fall. Back and forth now. He's got this bar arm hooked up again, going to run it into a tilt. Looks like he's going to get some near fall here. He did get a 3 count. That's going to be good for 2 more back points. Now he catches a half on the edge. That was a good read there. Cooper Smith kind of just slowly leaned over. Don't know what we're looking for, but we got the pin. As Luke Lyons looks sharp tonight, picks up the pin over Cooper Smith. That's 6 points for the Blue Jays. Going to help get them back on the map here. 18-10 now for the Blue Jays. Nice job by Luke Lyons. I love it when Luke Lyons is aggressive. He is a tough kid to beat when he is coming after you. Clayton Carey now for the Blue Jays at 144 pounds. And Clayton's going to be taking on Tegan Trimble. Sorry, Tegan Treblick. Current dual score, Guthrie 18, Blanchard 10. Good thing so far for the Blue Jays, bumping up a bunch of their wrestlers, getting into some tough matchups, tough hills to climb, but these Blue Jays, tough is something they will always be considered. As each one of these boys, no stranger to a dogfight. Clayton Carey here working that underhook. There's a nice high C. Changes off to a double leg. Good read there. Gets 2 points on the takedown. What I liked about that, he hits the underhook, goes for the high C, heavy hit by Treblick, and just by feel, he cuts to that double leg dump. It wasn't really a double leg. It was more of like a run the pipe on a double leg dump, more of a feel move than a top move, which is something that takes experience, and that is something Clayton Carey has valued this year as he's gained experience. He's able to do a lot of things that are hard to teach and they're hard to coach. They're things you just have to learn by doing it, and Clayton Carey has learned a ton this year by just doing it, and that was a great example of that. That takedown, probably never taught by anyone, but he was definitely able to pull that off just on feel. I like to see that out of Clayton, just getting better every time out on the mat, now grinding away on top. Getting a little bit too high here. Treblick gets that leg as time runs out. Clayton Carey off to a good start, though, in the first period. Second period choice is going to go to Blanchard as Tegan Treblick takes bottom. That's going to put Clayton Carey for the Blue Jays on top. As we get started here in the second period, Treblick trying to get out of sit-out, turn in again. Clayton Carey got too high there at the end of the first period. Treblick hopeful he can get back in on that leg, but for his effort this time, Clayton Carey breaks him down, and now he's got the chicken wing. We just saw Luke Lyons have some success with his chicken wing, and now Clayton Carey going to try to tilt this thing up on the far side. Not able to score with it, but he's got the seatbelt ride on the chicken wing, which means this thing's locked in good. He's going to try to run this. He's got to get that chicken wing on the front side. Now he's got the bar arm. Now he's running the head. He's going to run that head. He might catch a half. There it is. Running this hard. Clayton Carey on top, just a hammer. Not giving Tegan Treblick any room to breathe, but Tegan doing a good job trying to stay on his base and fight out of this chicken wing position. Tough position to get out of once you're in it. But Tegan fighting hard on bottom. He's posturing now away from the half, but into the chicken wing. Clayton Carey trying to walk that chicken wing around backwards, pull those hips around with it. Tegan did a good job reading that, goes with it, uses the momentum to get an escape. That's going to put 2 more points on the board. Oh. It's going to put a point on the board for Tegan Treblick. Another high C, same thing out of that underhook. He goes for that high C, this time more of a ducking high C. Peek out type takedown, beautifully done by Clayton Carey. Again, just feeling it on that side. Treblick just stepping into it, and as he steps into it, Clayton Carey feeling that says thank you and just goes with it. Big 2-point takedown there at the end of the second period. And Clayton Carey going to go on bottom. Blue Jays choice. They're going to put Clayton on bottom. It's going to put Tegan Treblick on top. Going to see if he can get some work done here as quickly Clayton Carey gets to his feet. Brought back down, then back to his feet again. Brought back down a second time. Going for a chicken wing here as Clayton Carey gets back to his feet a third time. Back down to the mat again. Back to his feet a fourth time. Chicken wing and a half. Treblick trying what he can. Clayton Carey, in about 20 seconds, got to his feet 4 times. That's what experts like to call hustle on bottom. Back to his feet again for a 5th time and out. Those of you younger wrestlers watching at home, if you just keep coming to your feet, eventually good things happen. If you watch after that break, Clayton Carey stood up once and Treblick had had enough and just said, fine, you can get away and we'll go on our feet. So that's the benefit of that. in on a single leg there, high crotch, I guess. They go out of bounds. No points awarded. We're on our feet. Score 5-1. In the third, Clayton Carey heavy on the head. If I were a guessing man, I'd say he'd be looking for another underhook to a high C. This time he uses the elbow pull to try to get the high C on that same side. Not as easily done as Treblick was able to feel that, but now Clayton Carey goes in for a high C. Treblick trying for the neck whip. And Clayton Carey going for the double as they go out of bounds. Really a tricky spot for both guys. Treblick had the neck whip, and Clayton Carey had the double leg. Kind of a battle of position there as they go out of bounds. Now we've got a little blood time here for Clayton. Looks like he's got a cut under or above his eye. Most likely from all the action he got yesterday. I think he had 3 matches yesterday. Couple of which were dogfights for him against upperclassmen, but Clayton looked good yesterday. Going to pick up another good match here again tonight. Looking good tonight. Really impressed with his underhook on his right side, and he's attacking that high C coming out of that. Really looking good with that attack against Tegan Treblick. Treblick, though, keeping himself in this match. He's doing a good job just making everything hard for Clayton and keeping himself in this match. Really, he's one big move away from being in the match. So that's a compliment there to Treblick, who is still coming after it now, knowing that he's down. He's hustling to score points here on the edge. As a neck whip of his own, Clayton Carey wrestling on the edge there. Treblick hustles back to the center. He's going to have to come after with 30 seconds to go. Treblick's going to have to go big and try to make something happen. Clayton Carey is either going to have to hold everything off or just get one more big takedown to kind of seal the deal and get back in control of Treblick. What you never want is a dangerous opponent coming after you with short time, especially when they have nothing to lose. It makes them very dangerous. Best thing to do is just to get a takedown and get it over with. But Treblick not going away easily. 3 seconds to go on the match, though. Looks like Clayton Carey is going to pick up a 5-1 victory with 2 takedowns. 2 big takedowns over Tegan Treblick. That's going to be 3 more points for the Blue Jays. And we are going to bump up to 157 pounds. 150 pounds. Getting ahead of myself just a little bit. Robert Brown for the Blue Jays is going to be taking on Abba Autry. Robert came to us from Rogers High School over there in Tulsa. Transferred in this year. Was not eligible to compete for the Blue Jays until second semester. There's rules for transfers that he had to honor, and then it's a 16-day wait period or maybe a 15-day wait period. You can compete on the 16th day, I think. So he had to wait from Christmas on in order to compete, and now he's able to compete for the Blue Jays. Now, Robert was a state qualifier last year for Rogers, so no stranger to the mat. He's actually a very good wrestler. Got to watch him wrestle for the first time yesterday. He picked up 3 big wins for the Blue Jays against several. The one kid from Sapulpa was a tough out and was able to pick up a big takedown in the end to get a victory for the Blue Jays in a big duel and a big matchup. So excited to see what Robert Brown can do here for the Blue Jays. We got him bumped up to 50 today, bumped up to 150 pounds. Like say, everybody from the team is bumped up here. And Brown is part of that move-up process. Snap down attempt here by Abba Autry with an underhook. He's got Robert Brown's head caught. Now he hits the outside single. From there, big duck under. Got caught in a neck whip. Wrestling on the edge here. Abba Autry in trouble. They're going to still wrestle. Robert Brown going for a big under that chin. He's got him on his back now. Abba Autry scrambling out, able to get back to his feet. And referee's going to give him 1 point for an escape, so that's a 2-point takedown on the edge and then a 1-point escape on the edge. A lot of action there. If you noticed, another neck whip attempt by the Lions. That's the third one we've seen in 4 matches. Obviously something they're pretty good at, pretty dangerous with. These Lions defensively look like they have a little bit of offense. Big takedown there by Robert Brown. Going to put him in the lead going into the second period. With the escapes, going to put him up 3-1. And we go back to work here on our feet. Very quick and very agile, moving around on the mat here. Back to this underhook position. Autry was there earlier, and this is where Robert Brown hit that duck under to score that takedown. Brown now underhook of his own on the left side. Big underhook to the far knee pick for a big 2-point takedown for Robert Brown. That's going to put him in the lead now 5-1 as he goes to work on top. Very athletic and very explosive when he needs to be. Robert Brown's got a good feel on when to pile on the intensity. Autry stuck on bottom here underneath Brown. Brown's going to get that inside bar arm. As he just hangs on top here. Not really a lot of action, not a lot going on here for the moment. But now Autry's trying to get based up here as Robert Brown just kind of hangs on. Brown now goes for a trip. Not able to get it. Abba Autry gets the escape, earns the escape really, able to get to his feet and get out. Now we're back to neutral with 20 seconds left to go in the second period, where Robert Brown of the Guthrie Bluejays is ahead of Abba Autry of the Blanchard Lion Pride. He's winning 5-2 as we finish out this second period. And we move on into the third choice is going to go to Blanchard. Autry's going to choose bottom. Be curious to see what Brown does here. If he lets him go, if he tries to ride. Autry gets to his feet. I thought Brown was going to let him go, but now it looks like Brown's going to try to wrestle here. Nearly caught him some near fall in this transition on this scramble. And now Brown really just going to be happy to sit here, lay on that hip, and burn the clock. I think as long as the referee lets him lay here and sit on that ankle, he'll do so. Not fun to watch, but I can't say as I blame him. Brown just trying to keep Autry in bounds and burn this clock down. Turns him back in bounds now. Going to sort of force Abba Autry to have to try to stand up as he rolls through on a crossover Granby. Brown rolls through with and follows, remains on top. We're down under a minute now in the third period. Robert Brown winning over Abba Autry 5-2. Autry again tries a Granby. Tries the Granby. He's trying to come out. This is near fall territory. Referee not calling anything. And now Abba Autry working his way out. Catch Robert Brown. And now that's 1 point escape. And you've got Coach Jaden Davenport rightfully upset that from top control position, Robert Brown had Abba Atri on his back for nearly 5 or 6 seconds and didn't get a single near fall call. Doesn't matter the position. If you are on top, you are considered in control. So therefore, if you get to a near fall criteria, you're technically in control. You've met the criteria. You're in control because you're on top. So in theory, that should have been at least a 4 count or a 5 count, but there were 0 counts. Referee stood there and watched, and is not going to reward any near fall. Missed call by the referee, but he was proud to do so. Feels that he was just in that call, and we go to our feet now with 20 seconds to go. Score was 5-3, but with that takedown, Robert Brown's going to get back ahead. It's going to put him up 7-3 with 14 seconds left to go. Robert Brown for the Blue Jays is going to be on top. Abba Atri on bottom, stuck down here. Looking for something big. He's trying to roll something up. You know, he caught Robert Brown kind of in some transitions, and that's how he got out earlier. Looks like that's what he was trying to pull off here. Now he's stuck on bottom. Robert Brown running his half. As time runs out, that's going to put 3 more on the board for the Blue Jays as Robert Brown wins 7-3 at 150 pounds. A little bit of a technical difficulty on the scoreboard at the moment. I'll get that fixed, hopefully, and get back to it. But in the meantime, Roston Usselton for the Blue Jays. It's going to be taking on Anthony Cox of the Lion Pride. Usselton in on a high C here. Getting strung out, but trying to come up with it. Cox got the far ankle, making it difficult for Roston to progress. He could just pick up a stalemate here. If he can knock Roston down to a hip, he'll try to come around behind and pick up 2. But Roston just grit down here, holding on to this leg, fighting this position. Shout out to Chris Evans for fixing that graphic for us. We are back to action on that. Shout out to Connor Ace for running that score clock in the blind. It's nice to have a good team. And this GNP network has one of the finest in the state, no doubt about that. Roston Usselton's choice. He goes down in the second, right to his feet. As Cox puts in a leg down here. Hanging on here on top. Now, technically, that is a stalling. Finally given by the referee. As Roston gets out, gets an escape. Roston with a heavy snap down there. Roston on a shot here. He's got a deep single leg. Cox has done a nice job every time that Roston shoots. He anchors down that back ankle and makes Roston's feet heavy and clamps everything down and makes it hard for Roston's hips to move. When Roston's hips can't move, it's hard for him to make the adjustments he needs to get on top. Roston, though, like a dog, is just fighting and fighting and fighting, just inching his way to new positions. But Anthony Cox doing a good job of just controlling the hip of Roston, clinging on tight, clamping everything down. Roston just trying to wiggle himself out. Just a hard-fought position. Roston doing things right, but also Anthony Cox was doing things right defensively. It's really hard defensively to know what you're doing there and to be successful at just stopping some guy's momentum. A lot of times guys try to scramble loosely, and by scramble loosely I mean they grab ankles and they roll and they flop and they do things like that. But when when you shoot on a guy and they can clamp down and stop your motion, it's nearly impossible to score on someone when you can't move. And so a defensive guy that's able to clamp down like that and keep you from moving, it's exhausting, and it's so difficult to score points when a guy does that to you. Anthony Cox has done a great job of that. Big shout-out down there to Nick Carradine, Wesley Silvis on the sidelines, wanting to get a little love and pub. As we get back to action down here, Roston Usselton just clawing and fighting to get a takedown. Now Roston getting to put some defense on of his own as Anthony Cox is in on a deep single leg. And Roston's going to show his heavy and show his hips and show what he can do from this position. As he does, hustles behind. Anthony Cox makes an adjustment. Nice little scramble there on the end. Anthony Cox was in on a shot. Roston breaks it, goes to hustle behind. Anthony Cox then turns his defense back on, and as time runs out, we had a nice little scramble. In the third, Anthony Cox goes down. As he gets up, Roston Usselton now drops to a single leg. Now, technically, he's still in control on top. He doesn't have to finish this. He just has to kind of remain here and grab a stalemate. Cox, in this situation, knows there's no reason to clamp down. I got to get out of here. So he lets go of that clamp down and starts scrambling. And now he's almost out. Now he's not out yet. Roston in on a big double leg here. Again, see how he clamps down? He just squats and just closes Roston's hips out. He's got a cradle locked up. Anthony Cox with a cradle locked up. He's going to get a reversal on Roston Usselton. That's going to put him in the lead now. Big reversal by Anthony Cox. Roston had the double, and Anthony clamped down on the hips again, shuts down Roston's ability to move. In that process, locks up a cradle and was able to turn that into a reversal. I'm really impressed by the way Anthony Cox defensively is savvy to understand such an advanced position. Usselton now caught in kind of a backwards cradle, but if Cox pulls him back, he'll get near fall here. That is near fall criteria. Roston's got to be careful he doesn't give up a pin here. As he's stuck on his back, Roston's trying to break the lock. He's got his arm up. I think he knows he can't get pinned there, but he did give up 3 points near fall. Probably going to seal the deal for Anthony Cox, but Roston is not going to be done wrestling as he gets right back up to his feet, and we're under 20 seconds in this third period matchup. What was a dogfight of a match. Anthony Cox here at the end, able to pick up a reversal and near fall, big 5-point swing in what was otherwise a very close competitive match. Now Cox puts in a leg. Roston, though, catches that arm. He's trying to pull it over his head so he can peek out, but with Cox has got that leg in, going to make anything difficult to do here until Roston gets that leg out. Going to finish the match here. Anthony Cox going to pick up 3 more points for Blanchard. And the Lions are going to get another notch in their cap. Going to bump up now. Rowan McComb with a big, quick takedown on the whistle. Not a takedown yet, but he's got a fireman's and a dump. Needs to swim for the head here. Needs to swim for the head or try for the double. There he's got the double with his arm over the back. If he can transition to back points here, this is going to be big. Rowan McComb, takedown and 2 points near fall. Big time for Rowan McComb. Comes out firing with a big 4-point lead out of the gates. Now he's got a cradle locked up. Not even a cradle, he's just got a wrist and a head. But Rowan's going for it anyway. More or less scrambles himself into this position. Now he ends up in a headlock. Both feet in bounds, and they're going to call him out. Again, questionable, but it's what we got to deal with. Rowan McComb wrestling tough coming out of the gate here. Guthrie crowd not happy with some of the decisions of this official. Rowan McComb tips him over with his chicken wing. We saw him get the pin here. We saw him get this pin here yesterday from this position, running that chicken wing. Rowan likes this chicken wing. Scrambles back on top. Now Brody Shaman is on top, the bigger man. Tough spot for Rowan McComb. Tough spot here. With the fall, Brody Shaman pulls that one off after what was already a dominant performance for Rowan. Rowan bumping up 3 weights. You know, Rowan, normally a 50-pounder, been wrestling 57 for us, got bumped up to 65 tonight and looked as good as he has all year. A great match for Rowan McComb. Got into a bit of a scramble, got caught there, but proud of the way he wrestled. That was an amazing match, maybe the best he's looked all year. Exciting, to say the least. We're going to bump up now to 175 pounds. Where Bryson Hall for the Blue Jays is going to take on Brody Curlis of Blanchard. As we start getting in these bigger weights where our guys are bumping up, you're going to see a big size discrepancy, one of which is here. Obviously, these bigger boys, the weight classes start to spread further apart, so the bump up is quite a bit of a bump, but nothing Bryson Hall can't handle. Wrestles with Tyler Gettings every day in practice, and he also wrestles Wesley Silvis every day in practice, so he's used to wrestling kids that are bigger than him. Rarely does he wrestle anyone his own size in practice, so again, something the coaches weren't too concerned with bumping him up a weight, just because not only is he extremely talented and more than capable of picking up a win here, Bryson's also wrestling bigger guys every day in practice. Tyler Gettings, one of the best kids in 5A at 175 pounds. Wesley Silva's possibly the best wrestler at his weight at 190 pounds, and Bryson goes with them competitively every day. So this should not be much different. Now, Brody Curlis doing a good job keeping inside ties here and being heavy on Bryson Hall. Bryson Hall's going to have to wear down the bigger opponent here. Try to get some offense going. Nice ankle pick there. Nice low-level single. Catches the ankle. Brody Curlis steps and reaches. Bryson Hall just falls right underneath it. Catches that ankle. Picks up a nice 2-point takedown. And now getting to work. Digging up them bar arms. Bryson really turned into a hammer this year on top. Has always been good on his feet. This year better than ever from that neutral position. But on top really is the improvement I've seen the most. He gets on top now. You know, he used to try to just ride as long as he could. Now you can count on him to ride as long as he wants. And you can also count on him to score points from the top position. And here lately, Bryson's just been picking up falls. So, I mean, it's not just a small improvement. It's actually become a big weapon in the arsenal of Bryson Hall. And really, if you want to be one of the best wrestlers in the state, you have to be great from all three positions. And this is really where Bryson kind of fell short a little bit. He was kind of just solid there, not good, and now he's become a great wrestler from the top position, which really, if you're a 165-pounder in the state at 5A, that's not a good sign for you because Bryson Hall is good. You're going to have to be exceptional to take Bryson Hall down. You're going to have to be exceptional in order to ride him, and you're going to have to be exceptional just to get off bottom. Now, if you're exceptional in all three positions and you think you can do that to Bryson Hall, good luck doing it in all three positions during the same match. So, Bryson Hall really this year has become, he's gone from a state qualifier to now possibly, state championship material. And so that's a big, big improvement for Bryson. You can see that here on top against a bigger opponent, just really dominant from this position. Been so happy to see this improvement from Bryson, but really just being on the call all year, it's been fun to watch. He's just an exciting wrestler, scores a lot of points, stays busy. He's always looking for a way to improve, just whether that's improve his position, improve on the amount of points he has on the board, improve into a fall. He's always looking ahead. Right here, he's just, like I say, against the bigger guy, he's going to try to pull that off and get some near fall. So Bryson Hall just looking tough here on top, just wrestling like a hammer. Currently up 4-0. And just looking for more action, more points. Again, grinding on top hard here. Really not a lot going on bottom. Bryson ran into something similar yesterday against the Sapulpa kid where guy on bottom wasn't doing anything. Referee really wasn't asking either the top or bottom guy to do anything, just going to let it play out like it was. That's kind of where we're at here. Referee's not going to make the bottom guy wrestle, therefore it's going to be hard for Bryson to get anything going if the bottom guy is allowed to just kind of lay there. Going to be Guthrie's choice. Bryson Hall's going to go bottom. As Brody Curlis trying to stay in this matchup. He's doing a good job against the tough Bryson Hall. Bryson Hall now gets to his feet quickly. Again, Bryson's tough on bottom as well. Curtis tries to cut back in and grab that leg, but a go behind for Bryson Hall. Picks up two more now. Lets him go and gets a big punch double. He's going to pick up two more for his trouble. Bryson Hall decided he didn't have much luck on top. I think the reality is Bryson Hall wasn't having much fun on top. So now he's going to go to work here on his feet and see if he can get some more action. I know he's wanting to get to work here. Brody Curlis trying to stay in the match, trying to catch some ankles. As Hall now has this Turk position hooked up. He'll try to score with this if he can. He's got to try to Turk this hip over and get a crossface. If he can score with it, he will. But if he can't, look for him to probably just let him go. He's almost got him tilted over with this cross-arm dump. He's going to try to walk it around his head. Curlis trying to fight it off. Bryson got near fall there. Looked like he got a 3 count, which is going to be good for 2 points. That's going to bump that score out 12-2. With 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go, Bryson Hall's going to go back to work on his feet. Brody Curlis going to earn a point for the escape. Now Hall trying to create some motion. Tap and go to the far side, single leg on the outside, trying to cut the corner here. Curtis got that big hip tip, trying to get Hall over to his hip. So Hall elevates with a big swinging hook of his leg. He's going to try to hook that foot. Now he's going to try to pop his head out on the far side. If he can, he'll get 2. Curlis knows what Hall's trying to do. Held him off for a while, but not quite able to stop it. That's going to be 2 more points for another takedown with 40 seconds to go. Looks like Hall's going to try to remain on top here. Ride this one out. Big third period for Bryson Hall. Several takedowns. He got a big near fall. And now he's just going to grind it out on top with 15 seconds to go. I got a good feeling this is where this match will end. Again, impressive win for Bryson Hall. That's no diss on Brody Curlis, who put up a good effort against a very talented and very promising Bryson Hall. Has had a great season this year. And as he moves into the postseason, I think every Guthrie fan is excited to see where this Hall is going to fall. Chances are he's going to climb pretty high on top of that podium this year. Moving on to 190 pounds, the Blue Jays are going to bump up Tyler Gettings from 175 pounds to fill in for Wesley Silvas. Silvas picked up 4 wins by pin yesterday in the duels. Coach is going to choose to rest him to keep him healthy for the postseason. As Gettings is going to wrestle Braxton Rinken. Cleaning up some blood time. Referee's trying to make sure these athletes have a clean surface to compete on. Good shot there of trainer Claire Short. Doing work like she always does. Very underappreciated is the role of the athletic trainers. And Claire Short, one of the best in the business. Out there getting things picked up. We're to action here at 190 pounds. Tyler Gettings of the Blue Jays. Again, bumping up quite a bit. It's a big jump from 175 to 190. 15 pounds is a lot of weight to be given up. But again, Tyler Gettings every day in practice wrestles against Wesley Silvas, who is one of the best wrestlers in the state at 190 pounds. And so, Tyler, no stranger to the size and no stranger to the skill level either. So he should be just fine in this matchup. Now, Braxton Rinken, definitely happy to compete here against Tyler. Tyler's going low and Rinken's matching that, as both guys kind of feeling each other out here. Curious to see if Rinken is going to try to pull the trigger into a big double. I know that's what Tyler likes to do from there, but usually when guys drop down, that is what they're trying to do. So I'll be curious to see when these guys are done feeling each other out and they start attacking each other, what they choose to try and score with. They're fighting hands inside ties here for now. Tyler with a pass by. Tyler with a fake. Rinken drops down to that low level. Both guys just moving here into 30 seconds. Not a lot happened here. Both guys kind of feeling each other out. I think Tyler, against his bigger opponent's not really trying to force anything. Goes for the double there. Rinken just stuffs it big, going for the headlock. Big headlock for Rinken. Tyler's loading his own hips. Rinken's happy to see that go. Tyler's got to walk around out front. Rinken not able to pull it off. Tyler able to set his hips down, push the hands off, and pick up 2 points for the takedown. As Tyler Gettings is going to finish on top here with the lead 2-0. Got a little dicey there at the end of that period. Now, Tyler is a wrestler that makes me nervous all the time. And normally when I say no, 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 I follow with yes, 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 because unconventionally, Tyler seems to have a feel for what he's capable of. So normally what most guys can't do, Tyler can do very well. That headlock was a prime example of that very thing. Tyler quick to his feet on bottom. Rinken's got to try to return him here, get warned for stalling. Now he's got to let him go. Tyler Gettings gets a 1-point escape. And he's back on his feet, now leading Braxton Rinken 3-0. Now remember, there's a pass by. Nice little slide by Tyler. Wasn't able to score with it. But he had the right idea. Rinkin from this position earlier tried that headlock. He's got a deep collar tie. Tyler kind of tried to, he tried a double leg, didn't really force it, just kind of hit it half-heartedly, and then Rinkin came out of that with a headlock. So when they tie back up, be looking for that again. Now, he wasn't successful, but he nearly was. So perhaps he'll try it again. Pass by, long, try to shot takedown, gets big underneath, but Tyler coming up with a double. Rinkin now with double underhooks into a snake/cow catcher position. He's walking it up like he wants to throw it. Gettings do a good job just pushing the hips away, making it to where Lincoln couldn't load his hips and possibly get a throw. Gettings busy with a fake. Shoots from a little bit too far out. Gets stuck underneath here. Rinkin trying to be heavy on top. Snaps down Gettings. Gettings again. So long with his arms, he's able to pull off a double leg where most guys can't. Kind of stuck underneath there. Rinkin, though, Rinkin's going for these underhooks like he knows what he wants to do with it, like there's something he knows how to do from here. He's loaded up like he wants to throw. Tyler wisely pulling those hands away so that Rinkin can't load those hooks up. Choice in the third period is going to go to Tyler Gettings of the Blue Jays. He's going to choose neutral. Doesn't want to go underneath the bigger opponent. And so now with a 3-point lead going into the third, Tyler Gettings, if he can shut out, get a takedown here in the third and just shut this thing out and end on top, probably the safest and best route to go. But Braxton Rinkin, I believe, can be dangerous from this position. He seems to be game, and he seems to be happy to attack. Again, as he runs for that little dresser dump. Tyler Gettings able to get out of bounds here. Wrestling a lot here on the edge. As time winds out, this works in favor of Tyler Gettings, as Braxton Rinkin's going to have to get a little bit more urgent. He's going to have to get a little bit more urgent, a little bit more desperate. And he's going to need either a couple takedowns, a couple average takedowns, or one big takedown. Tyler Gettings now catches the knee as he shoots through. Rinkin able to get his leg back, and again, going for something big is Rinkin. Tyler Gettings got to go behind. He gets behind, gets the two. Big takedown for Tyler Gettings. Exactly what he needed to do. He needed to get a takedown and secure this win. He's up 5-0. Rinkin now is going to be in desperate territory. He's going to have to get a big roll for near fall, something big. Gettings has just got to play smart here and stay on top and stay in control. He doesn't want to get caught leaning. He doesn't want to get caught rolling. He just wants to get Rinkin broke down, belly down, and finish this match on top. Rinkin's going to have to create a scramble of some kind as he winds down into 22nd territory. Down here with his head on the mat is not going to be enough. He's going to have to get crazy or he's going to lose this match. 15 seconds to go, and now we're close to 10. Tyler Gettings up 5-0. Going to pick up a win for the Blue Jays. Nicely done here by Tyler Gettings. Just a solid and clean match. It's going to be 3 more points for the Blue Jays over the Lions. Going to put the team score 30 for the Blue Jays, 19 points for the Lions. As we go into this 215-pound matchup, Eli Maroney caught here in a single leg off the whistle. Wrestling against Gavin Ricks. Eli, crazy roll through here. Now he's right back to his feet. Gets the escape. And now they'll go back to work. 2-1. Gavin Rich currently ahead of Eli Maroney with that takedown. Now he's got a big underhook on the left side. Maroney doing a good job controlling that other wrist. You can see Rich really trying to open up that other side so he can shoot. Maroney shoots underneath. Maroney setting up a big headlock, but Rich smells that one from a mile away, sets his hip, posts his foot, and gets 2 more takedown. Maroney was trying to set up his fireman's carry. Came up a little short, so he transitioned over to that headlock. Rich wise enough to stop both and just weather that storm, and now he's got Maroney in trouble. He's got the hammerlock on Maroney's back. Maroney doing a good job of actually coming to his feet, but now Rich transitions to a cradle. And Maroney able to weasel out of that, but not before Gavin Rich picks up 2 more for near fall. That's going to bump his score up 6-1. Really impressed here. Gavin Rich, solid wrestler at 215 pounds. You can always tell experience by how well a wrestler transitions. If they go from one thing to another sort of seamlessly, you know, if a wrestler blocks one thing, they move to another. They just transition through without any hiccups. That's the sign of experience. That's the sign of a wrestler with a lot of skills. Gavin Rich has done that, both defensively and offensively, just kind of transitions from one thing to another. Very impressed here at the quality of Gavin Rich's abilities. Eli Maroney trails 6-2. He's going to have to do something here to get back in this match. Nothing desperate yet. A takedown would go a long way. And Eli Maroney, no stranger to scoring points, is more than capable of getting back in this match. Really, at any time, Eli's such an exciting and explosive athlete. He can pull the impossible off at the drop of a hat. So really working hard here, kind of forced that little pass by, getting frustrated with Gavin Rich. Honestly, just getting frustrated, I think, with just the position of Gavin Rich. You know, hasn't got out of position yet. He's dominating inside those ties, catching those underhooks. Eli struggling in those positions because Gavin's staying so solid. So Eli's starting to, you know, overcompensate a little bit. And Gavin's just waiting for those moments to score. Kind of getting the best of Eli in those exchanges, but Eli's still fighting here. Now Gavin's pulling up a chicken wing on this near side. Eli's going to have to get to his base. Best way to stop that chicken wing is to do exactly what he's doing here, just pushing that inside thigh and getting your knees. Kind of takes the pressure off of it. But Eli stuck down here on bottom. And now with a deep half, Gavin Rich is going to try to settle in. Eli's going to have to fight here. Tight half, tough position. And Eli Maroney gives up a fall to Gavin Rich. That's going to be 6 points for Blanchard. That's going to bump Blanchard up 25-30. And really, if Blanchard can pick up a big win here, they can win this duel technically. They're going to have to get a tech fall to tie it or a pin to win. As Nick Herendeen for the Blue Jays is going to go out and try his hand against the big man Ryder Dobbs. In on a shot there. Nick Herendeen gets behind and picks up 2 points. Nicely done there for the Blue Jay. As Nick goes to work on top. Down under 20 seconds now in this matchup. Nick Herendeen doing work on top. In order to win this duel, the heavyweight here, Ryder Dobbs is going to have to pin Nick Herendeen. If he just wins by a regular decision, Guthrie can still win this duel. Major decision, Guthrie can still win this duel. Tech fall, it'll be a tie of the duel. And then if Ryder Dobbs can pick up a fall, they can win. So this heavyweight matchup could get rather exciting. But as of now, Nick Herendeen is winning 2-0. Minute and 30 to go in the second period. Nick Herendeen now getting to work. Dobbs big, going for a big throw here. Herendeen able to catch him on his back. Just a good feel there by Herendeen, just kind of being athletic. This will be a big deal. Nick Herendeen picks up the fall. Good job by Nick Herendeen, sensing he was in trouble there. And he grabs the fall for the Blue Jays. That's going to make the final score of the duel 36-25. Your Guthrie Blue Jays pick up the win over the Blanchard Lions. Big night for the Blue Jays as they come off of a big duel week and finish off their duel season this year with a big win over the Blanchard Lions. We're going to take a quick timeout, and then we will come back with the Generations Church post-game show. This break brought to you by F&M Bank.
At Terry Insure Group, you'll be helped by lifelong Blue Jay fans. Seth Robbins, Jason Herzl, and Dennis Oakes aren't limited to any single provider. We'll work with you to find the carrier and the plan that fits you best. Terry Insure Group is an independent insurance agency specializing in home, auto, and commercial lines of insurance. Call Terry Insure Group at 405-293-4880 or stop by at 622 South Division or visit them online at tigok.com. Terry Insure Group, insuring your world.
Tina and Stefan and the entire staff, they are who you see them be. I mean, they're genuine people. They care about people. They've spent their entire lives in healthcare.
I can honestly say I'm 65 years old, and I'm probably in the best health I've been in my whole life, to be honest with you. And it's thanks to Stefan and his staff here, because everything they've done for me is just worked tremendously.
I just highly recommend Strive to anybody who's wanting to see a real improvement in their overall health, to be quite frank, their quality of life.
Back to live here inside of the Blanchard High School Gymnasium. Coming to you for the Generations Church postgame show. I am Sean Silvis, and we are concluding what was an exciting duel for the Blue Jays as we are finishing up things here. We're going to get a coach's interview. And we're also going to get a North Church Wrestler of the Night. As I am waiting on those guys to head up here, we'll transition into an interview. Let me take a quick timeout. I've got a wrestler coming up here half naked wanting to do an interview, and I said, no, we can't do that. You got to put a shirt on. So we'll We'll walk through some of this duel. Just a nice matchup. You know, a little bit concerned coming into the duel as, you know, the coaches were focused on winning the duel tournament yesterday. And so bumping everybody up tonight, I know wasn't the best plan to win a duel against a tough team like Blanchard. And so I was concerned with some of the weight discrepancies, bumping up everybody. Wore out from yesterday. All the guys had 4 matches. But still, under those circumstances, able to pull off a win against Blanchard, a tough 4A team. Very impressive win for the Blue Jays. Really, this dual season has been a great season for the Blue Jays. Happy to see them pull this off and do as well as they have. Now, I'm going to, in transition here, try to juggle several different things. And we are going to pull in a coach's interview. Actually, we're going to do let's go ahead and do a North Church Wrestler of the Night. All right, guys, I am live here with the North Church Wrestler of the Night, Nick Carradine. Nick, big day yesterday, picking up 4 big wins and then a nice night tonight. Just how have you been feeling and how much fun have you been having out there?
I've been having fun with my teammates. It's good to wrestle with my brother, see we're competing together, and being with Coach Davenport and Coach Jeremy, it's a blessing. They're great coaches. They teach me a lot, and we just transitioning on the mat.
Good. So you've been in and out all year. Of course, football this year, big season in football. Great outcome. You had a lot of big stats, a lot of big numbers. This year, wrestling, great outcome, a lot of big stats, a lot of big numbers. How has this senior year athletically been for Nick Carradine?
It's been great, man. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have my athleticism and my community. They helped me out a lot. Coach BB and the Davenports and just the Guthrie sports system in general has been helping me out a lot.
All right, so this last duel came down to Guthrie's up by 5, and you had to get tech falled you had to get tech falled for them to tie the duel. You had to get pinned in order for them to win the duel. You get in a headlock scramble position, and you just kind of floated and felt it, ended up on top and got the fall for the team. Just what was going through your mind in that moment? Were you scared? Were you chill? What was going on?
Honestly, I was hoping he didn't get me. You feel me? I wanted to stay out the way, but good thing I got him on his back. Another pin for the year.
All right, well, good job, Nick. Congratulations. Wrestler of the Night. I'll bring in Coach Davenport here for the John Vance coach's interview. Yeah, while we got it all going, we're just throwing it all together, Coach. So, hey, great day yesterday. I know we capped that off. Came into the duel tonight. I was personally a little bit concerned bumping everybody up, wondering, I know the focus was win the district duels. That was the main focus tonight. Hey, we're going to go out here and compete. What happens, happens. We're not going to be disappointed if we lose. But really, the guys all bumped up and looked great. I mean, even bumping up, wrestled great, picked up a big win against a tough Blanchard team.
Yeah, Blanchard's a tough squad, man. Coach Cody Hill does a great job here at this program, and he's going to keep on having a tough squad every single year. So I love their competition. Great kids and just a great program in general. But yeah, our Mother Nature kind of put a lump in our schedule, and we had to reschedule our districts to Wednesday, which it's kind of odd having a competition on a Wednesday and then following into this duel. So, I told the guys, hey, we go out there and we compete our butts off in districts and we take care of business. We win districts. We'll be off weight class, and the guys like to enjoy it. They got to eat lunch and actually have a full stomach coming in here. And I think it showed. We went out and battled, and all it was getting legit mat time and preparing what postseason has in store for us, which is dual state, regionals, and state. And everything is just preparing us for regionals. It's the most important tournament of the year because we got to go and compete at regionals and make it to state.
So, Coach, one thing I noticed, yesterday and then even today, it looks like the guys are having fun.
Mm-hmm.
This late in the season after the grueling schedule they've had, I mean, how are you keeping it fun for these guys? Yesterday they were coking and joking in between matches. Every one of the duels when guys were hitting big moves, the whole side of your bleachers were lit. The guys they're honed in on their team. It just looks like they're enjoying this season. What are you doing to make it fun for these guys?
Man, well, every once in a while, so we came back after that grueling thing, and I felt our guys were down. So we kind of played a little dodgeball and a little stuff on Monday and Tuesday, kind of lighten things up. But honestly, man, these guys they're a family. They're a family here, and it's the culture that we've been building day in and day out, and they go to war for each other, and it's truly showing out on the mat because they battle and they fight their butts off every single second out there. But really, that's all of them, man. They love each other, and they're best friends, and it's just a family atmosphere here. And when you have that family mentality, you're going to go and have fun, and you're going to enjoy yourself, and you love to see your brothers succeed out there on the mat, and they just love seeing their teammates go out there and win and hit big moves and get excited and hype each other up. And when you do that, that momentum carries on, and I couldn't be more happy where we're sitting right now leading into postseason.
So last regular season competition of the year. Overall, wrestling in this community has been huge.
Yes.
We've seen a huge response at the duels. We've seen a huge response on the online participation. We've seen a huge response in the numbers, both at the Little League, at the junior high, now at the high school. Wrestling in Guthrie around the state is becoming a name that's known. Everybody I talk to talking about how this program's growing. How excited are you for the future of our program?
Man, I'm ecstatic. We have wrestlers all the way down to kindergarten, man. Like, we're going to be set in the future. These kids, they're hard-nosed. They go to work. Like I said this a few weeks ago. They take coaching, they take criticism, and they like tough love. And as long as they do that and they keep on battling and keeping their mind right and being encouraged and staying positive, you do that in this sport, you're going to be successful because this sport is grueling. So you got to find ways to have fun and also keeping a positive mentality. That's the main thing. But this future here in this town of Guthrie, man, it's so bright in wrestling. It's so bright. And honestly, it's all to the families and to the town on how they support their athletes, not just in wrestling, but football, basketball, baseball, softball. They support everybody so good. And I'm blessed to be in a town like Guthrie and be able to coach these kids and have the support that Guthrie does give their athletes and the sporting event. And so I'm just really excited and really happy to be here.
All right, Coach, last thing for me, sort of a personal question, but it's a Saturday. It's the middle of wrestling season, and you're off. What does Coach Davenport do on a Saturday on a day off?
Might get some sleep. Heck, I might, if she's nice to me, I might take my girlfriend out on a date or something. I know she's been pretty upset. So, we'll see. We'll see if she'll accept it or not. All I got to do is ask. So, all we're going to do is get some rest and hope these guys deserve a weekend off. They've wrestled their butts off, man. And, I'm just so happy for these guys, winning districts and getting to have a full postseason. My heart's full with this team, and they deserve this weekend off. Me, I won't keep my mind on wrestling. It's still season, so I'll always constantly be thinking about it. But really, just get some rest and relax and prepare for postseason.
Well, Coach, congratulations on an amazing regular season. Good luck in the postseason moving forward. And
thank you so much. Go Blue Jays.
All right, guys, we'll take one more timeout, and we'll come back with the post-game show. This message brought to you by F&M Bank.
When garage door problems occur, don't call a kind of service company or maybe a repair guy. Call Paul Creed at A-Team Overhead Door. Paul owns and operates his company and has over 15 years of experience in residential and commercial overhead door service. Paul provides all garage door services from repairs to installations. With free estimates, Paul will work with you to decide the best possible solution for your garage door or opener problems. Call A-Team Overhead Door today, 405-642-7065. At South Point Baptist Church, we want you to cheer loud and be proud as we send the Blue Jays to victory. Afterwards, join us each Sunday in our friendly family atmosphere. South Point invites you, your family, and friends to join us each week with Sunday school beginning at 10 a.m. and our morning service at 11 a.m. South Point wishes all students this season to make fun and exciting memories not only on the playing field, but in the classroom as well. And as always, go Blue Jays!
Welcome back, guys. Sean Silvas, live here inside of the Blanchard High School Gymnasium. Part of this Generations Church post-game show. Had a nice interview there with Wrestler of the Night Nick Herendine and Johns Vance coach interview with Coach Jaden Davenport after what was a very successful and exciting regular season finish. Very happy for our Blue Jays and how well they have performed all season. as we've got 2 cameras on me. I do apologize for that, but we're just gonna roll with it. We've got a lot of things juggling here, and a lot of things juggling. Now, I want to give a special shout-out to Connor Phillips. He stepped in today all the way until the end. He left me for the last heavyweight match, but he did run the score clock, and that is a huge blessing for me. I also want to thank Lindsay Silvis, the most beautiful camera girl in the business, has been helping me the last few weeks do the camera for these duels, and she's doing a great job, and I just want to thank her for helping and give them a shout-out. Now, also want to thank Chris Evans. He's been back home. Every time I've got any issues with any of this production stuff, he is just one phone call or text message away, and he has done a great job at keeping me afloat while I'm on the road. When he's here in-house, I don't have any problems because he takes care of all of them, but obviously when I go on the road and I run into problems, I got to call somebody that knows what's going on, and Chris has always been helpful there. So I want to thank Chris Evans for helping as well. This post-game show, guys, I want to run through real quick and talk about each one of these wrestlers just super quick, and then we can get out of here. Just this regular season, Joel Landry, our young freshman, didn't wrestle tonight, but he's been looking good. We're seeing a lot of good improvement out of him. Caden Herondine at 113. Obviously didn't wrestle tonight either. We were, if you were tuning in, you would have wanted to see Caden wrestle. So athletic, and he's so just talented overall. Everyone wants to watch Caden wrestle. Didn't get to wrestle tonight, but we're going to get to see plenty of him in the postseason, and we're all looking forward to seeing how he finishes. At 120, Matt Jairus didn't weigh in tonight. They let him take the night off. He's been a little banged up these last few weeks, and so just allowed him not to have to make weight and kind of to save his body for that postseason. Again, he'll have a whole nother week off where he can just rest and take care. At 126 tonight, we saw Aiden Smith go out and kind of outsized against a bigger, more experienced wrestler, and didn't end the way he wanted to, but hopefully we'll see him get back down to a little bit more competitive weight. 132, I'm sorry, my weights are getting backwards. I'm used to calling these guys at other weights. Everyone bumped up tonight, but 132, Dax Lopez wrestled against a tough order. Really, the beginning of that match got out of hand really quick. As the match went on, Dax was able to slow things down and get back in the match, but the score was already bumped ahead quite a bit just from that flurry, that flurry of takedowns at the beginning. Dax just wasn't able to catch back up, but looked good late in the match. Just didn't get going till really it kind of got away from him a little bit. Luke Lyons at 138 looked like the hammer I like to see out of Luke Lyons. Aggressive, mean, went out, scored points, got the big pin. Clayton Carey at 144 as a freshman, wrestling so smooth. Just, I was talking about on the broadcast, but just doing things you don't show. You don't show things like that in the room as a coach. You just hope things like that will come out. Experience teaches you timing and feel. Nothing else can, and Clayton Carey is picking up on those things very nicely, and as a freshman, he's doing such a good job there. Good job, Clayton Carey, tonight. Robert Brown, the newcomer, coming out of Rogers High School, Tulsa area, bumping over here, wrestled well tonight. He's undefeated so far for the Blue Jays. Picked up 3 wins this past weekend, got another win again tonight. Robert Brown looking very good. He's just an athletic kid. He's strong. He's got good timing. He understands matches well. He really manages matches. He exerts energy when he needs to. He gets points when he has to, and he also holds back and doesn't make mistakes when it's not necessary. So just a very veteran wrestler, and you can tell that there's a lot of experience in him and a big upside for Robert Brown. 157, Roston Usselton bumps up and gets himself up against one of Blanchard's hammers. Wrestled tough, got into a few pickles, and finally got nailed down and pinned. But Roston, we're looking forward to him in the postseason, getting back down to his weight, doing what he can. Now, Rowan McComb bumps up to 165 and looked better than he has all season long. So Rowan weighs in at 150 pounds. He's a 150-pounder, but he's been wrestling at 157 for the Blue Jays just to fill that spot. Now, he bumps up from 57 to wrestle 65 since everyone's been bumping up. He goes out and gets a big takedown, gets a near fall, and then he flips the kid back over, gets another near fall. Then he flips the kid over, going for another pin. So he is dominating this match, wrestling aggressive, and just really tearing into this Blanchard kid. And then in that last sequence, got rolled over to his back, and that's when the size finally caught him. As far as skill, as far as aggression, as far as want to, Rowan really really had all those things going for him, but size is something you can't get away from sometimes. And when he got underneath that bigger athlete, he got himself stuck underneath there and ended up getting caught. But honestly, Rowan McCone looked as good tonight as he has all season, maybe ever. Looked amazing against a good Blanchard kid. Got caught at the end, but, man, I'm so proud of Rowan McCone. Wrestled great tonight. Bryson Hall bumps up to 175. And, again, just, even wrestling a bigger kid. I mean, Bryson Hall hasn't had a bad moment since his second weigh-in at 165. I mean, the first time he was down, you could criticize that maybe he didn't look as sharp as he could have. But since that day, Bryson Hall has looked like a state champion wrestler every time he stepped on the mat. Tonight was no different, wrestling a bigger kid, and it didn't seem to matter. Bryson goes out, he gets a takedown, gets in control, starts to wear on the kid, ends up just tired of wrestling on top because nothing was happening, so he decides, I'm just going to go out and get 4 takedowns. Gets 4 takedowns, ends up getting a turn on it, and just makes things happen. Tyler Gettings bumps up to 190, looks great doing so against a bigger guy. Tyler was able to pick off a couple of nice takedowns, got into a couple of scrambles that made me nervous, but Tyler was probably fine with it because that's Tyler. Tyler, in bad situations, makes good things happen, and that's what Tyler did. Gets a nice win for the Blue Jays at 190 and 215. Eli Maroney runs into a hammer named Gavin Rich. I was actually as impressed with Gavin Rich as I was anyone on that Blanchard team. Just a solid 215-pounder. Solid in that, obviously built for the weight, but solid in his skills. Just, Eli is a kid that is so explosive and so athletic that can get you in trouble from anywhere. And Gavin was just so poised at just sitting back and not letting Eli get anything going. And when Eli would go for something crazy, Gavin just sat back and stayed in good position. So Eli was up against a tough, tall order in Gavin Rich and was not able to pick up the win. But I think Gavin Rich is a very, very good wrestler. I was impressed with that kid. So Eli Maroney fell short tonight. Had a great day yesterday, and it's great to see Eli back on the mat feeling healthy. Good to see. I'm excited to see him in the postseason and the good success he's going to have. 285, Nick Herendine, our wrestler of the night, did a good job, not just picking up a win, but he picked up the fall. Really, that duel came down to the end, and Blanchard still had a shot to win it. Nick Herendine, like he said, got into a squibbly situation there at the end and was just hoping he fell on top. Sure enough, he did. He picks up the fall, gets the win for the team, and the team ends up picking up a big win. So that was awesome to see out of our Blue Jays. So big night, big week of wrestling for the Blue Jays, and now they are going to be off. They've got the weekend off. They've got next week off. I know a lot of the freshmen and the junior high team, they're all going to be preparing for dual state next weekend. Those same group of kids are wrestling at Kid State this weekend. So 2 state tournaments back-to-back, and then we will go into dual state the following week where the high school will do their thing, and then we will go into regionals and state from there. I will get out of here as they're shutting down the lights and trying to run me out. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, and we will pick back up in the postseason the next time. Thank you guys all for watching, and go Blue Jays.